Do you want to do the intro today?
Hi, everybody. I'm Baya,
Jenny?
and this is Oracle Outlaws on Spotify and YouTube. And today we'll be talking about sidereal astrology, as well as the 80s, 70s-ish beloved nostalgic TV shows, movies, and some... What else are we doing?
Like the 80s, 90s kind of galactic timeline shift. What else do I have? Yeah. We've got like some old TV shows like Gem, He-Man, Sailor Moon, The Last Unicorn. And kind of how like all those 80s, just the whole decade of the 80s was kind of going towards this galactic, it had a very galactic energy to it, like with the clothing and the makeup and just the video, like the music videos and the TV shows. And yeah, so he's just kind of diving into that. And then the energy, kind of just the energy that we've been feeling for the last couple of weeks, moving out of retrograde into I guess the Lionsgate portal in traditional, but we're gonna kind of like debunk that a little bit today, I think. So yeah, so it'll be fun. So yeah, I guess I could start off with the sidereal astrology, I think, or do you want to? Maybe we could just kind of talk about the energy of the last couple weeks, like because like retrograde was so retrograde, and we kind of touched on that in the last couple episodes, how it was like there were themes. The big theme was like wanting to help people, but then realizing that people are just on their own journey and like they just have to do it themselves. Like people don't want help.
That was actually like exactly aligned with the basket, and there was some influence from Cancer that was, I believe in Jupiter, or not in Jupiter, because Jupiter is now in Leo. Or is Jupiter?
I'm not sure. I only know the sidereal.
Okay.
I don't know the traditional at all, except that obviously the basket, the Grand Trine, and then the Lionsgate. I know is huge because it's like the talk of the town right now.
I was self-deceiving because I thought I got off easy with our last episode from the retrograde. I was like, this was
piece of cake.
Piece of cake. Like, I feel like it's over, and it wasn't. But
still going.
It's also just been, I want to say, like an unprecedented energy launching point.
Mm-hmm.
Like now we're in an alternate timeline or dimension.
Feels so much like that.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, and that's why, because I noticed so much drastic shifting. It like beginning 2 weeks ago. I think it was just such a weird week, and not in a bad way, just in a like, whoa, I've entered an alternate reality kind of way. And then all this retro stuff started coming up, like 80s, 90s, and like not just, it was like collectively, it was like everyone we know was just kind of all of a sudden on this like 80s, 90s retro kick, and we were like, what is going on? Because I think I kind of live there. I like live in the 80s anyway.
You do.
So I like never left. Maybe I stayed on that timeline.
I think you stayed on that timeline.
That just occurred to me.
No, that's true. And I feel like you maybe dragged me into the energy that you always are in.
Well, because my kids are in that energy. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have to say a funny thing, because my kid, I always say I'm raising my kids like it's the 80s. But like they really are. Like they're going to see Lionel Richie this weekend. And like seriously, my kids are 17 years old, 13 years old, and 7 years old, and they're stoked to go see Lionel Richie. And I'm like, I don't even know if anyone their age like even knows who that is. And it's like hilarious because like I was telling Baya, like Lionel Richie or Air Supply or I don't know, Chicago will come on in the car, and my son will literally be like, yes, like he's like, yes. I'm like, my 13-year-old son. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. So yeah, it's like a time capsule.
It's a time capsule. It's always been that way around you and your kids, and I love it. And they're so cultured, and they have great taste. They're tasteful, and they have amazing presence and etiquette. It's not all over the place. Like some teenagers that are like lost in their identity. I don't get that vibe from them, which is awesome.
This is really interesting because this is all just like dawning on me right now as we're speaking that like, oh, I maybe never left the timeline.
You didn't. You stayed on it.
Because oh my gosh, I think I'll get into this later, or maybe I should just get into it now. But looking into the 1988 supposed timeline shift, it's all theoretical, of course. There's many different theories on like shifting timelines, and we probably shifted multiple times, and who knows what's going on anymore. But it's like, but there's something about like after the shift, it's honestly like they talk about the generations after Gen X, like just being such a cultural difference, but it seems like more than that. It's almost like people born after the shift actually are experiencing like a less stable reality and more of like a dreamlike state and things not feeling real. And yeah, I just wonder if there's something, because my kids are really grounded.
Well, even if you think about the way that they named the generations, how they just skipped straight to XYZ or whatever.
Yeah, there's no Y, right? Generation Y or Z.
I don't even. There may have been like a Generation X or something.
There was Gen X. That's my generation.
So, but then I was like, what?
But they went to Millennial after that.
It was just weird because then they went to Alpha, right?
Yeah, it was like Millennial. Oh wait, Gen Z, because you're Gen Z.
So then there was. Well, I'm technically right on the cusp of Millennial.
Millennial and okay.
And then there was, I think, Gen Alpha, Gen Z, some other Gen. I can't even remember, keep track of it.
I don't know what the newest one is. Gen Alpha, because my youngest is Gen Alpha.
What gets weird to me is it's just like, it started to get to a point where I felt like they were running out of names to call the next generation.
Yeah.
And that kind of feels like a weird timeline sloppy mishap. Where they were like, oops, we don't know what's going on anymore.
It is interesting how we skipped over Generation Y.
Well, I feel like think we skipped over like all of the alphabet, right? I don't think they did A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. You know what I mean?
No, because it was weird. It was like the Great Generation, the Silent Generation.
Because each generation that came out, this is the vibe that I'm getting at with
boomers.
this. It's just each generation that came out, it felt like they wanted that to be the end of something.
Yeah.
But then it wasn't, so then they had to come up with a new name to represent the end of what they thought was going to be that generation. But then humanity lived on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like each generation, they were like, and then they all died out with Generation Z.
Like, wait, they keep prevailing.
But then they keep prevailing. Oops. Okay. Alpha, I guess. I don't know. Like it just was seeming.
Yeah, we'll just start over.
It seemed sloppy. I was like, what is this?
You know what's really interesting is Gen X was the first generation named after a letter. So Gen X. So they started way at the, because it was the boomers.
That's what I'm saying, girl. It doesn't make sense. I'm like, why do you start at the end of the alphabet?
So were they trying to
want them to?
Were they planning our demise?
They
right?
were planning our demise.
They're like, Gen X,
okay,
this
and
is
then
the
it's
end of
over with Gen X. Like, because it sounds like a good note to end on. You know what I mean? Like X.
They got X'd out.
They got X'd out.
Maybe we did. Maybe the timeline shift, because 1988. The supposed timeline shift. That's like Gen X. Well, Millennial starts in 1982, I think officially. So 82 to 88 would be 6 years of Millennials, and then just poof, maybe we're just gonna fizzle us out.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
It's weird.
It's weird.
So there's that. And you're already a time traveler.
Am I?
Oh yeah, because every time you come out in like my cards, there's always like the magic card and the Time Master card.
Oh, the Time Master. I love this.
Yeah, it's like Grandfather Time. He's this guy on this. It's the Shaman Oracle deck, and he's got like a white beard, and he kind of looks Celtic.
The Shaman is the mystical Shaman.
But he represents Father Time. Yeah, the mystical Shaman.
I have that one. I should pull that one out again. I haven't used it in a long time, but you're inspiring me.
It's actually one of my favorite decks.
Is it?
It's become by far one of my all-time faves. It's kind of a staple to my readings now because it's a good balance of like spiritual and practical information with the cards.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull that one out again. Oh my gosh, it's what's her name?
Is it Alana Fairchild?
No. It's oh my gosh, she's actually the first person that I kind of got me into like reading oracle decks and stuff like that. She was so great. Like I think she had little YouTube shorts, or not shorts, but like
I feel bad I don't remember the creator. I can't
remember. I know. I feel like I should give her credit. What was that sound?
I don't know, but my ears just started ringing when that happened.
That was weird. Okay. we're having strange interference today.
I mean,
again, every time it's like
we were talking about an oracle deck. I'm like trying to trace back to when that happened.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we have visitors.
It's always so fun when we
know.
get together.
Never a dull moment.
It's never a dull moment.
Well, maybe we should just start off with the reset. We'll just jump to the meat of the story and kind of like let's just branch
hit
out
it
from
at
there.
its heart
Yeah,
right
we're
now.
just gonna go with the flow here. Yeah. So okay, basically, I was looking up. Well, because we have another friend that we know, and she's always talking about the 1996 timeline reset.
Yes.
Like shift, and which I don't know much about that one. I haven't heard much about that one.
I've heard her take on it, and it's very compelling, and I don't know if it's my story to tell, but it sounds very convincing. That I will say that through like a dream, that was the memory that it happened.
Yeah.
And dreams are not just dreams.
No, it's definitely like intel.
It was intel, and it was very clearly her and her parents were running from the ships that were landing here.
Mm-hmm.
And so then that's when I think they microchipped everybody. I think there's a microchip here and like up here.
Okay.
And they mind wiped everybody, which we've had multiple resets, like with the Old World Order. There was the Great Reset that happened in the 1800s.
Yeah.
Where they institutionalized everybody who did remember, and they created the school system, and they created the
orphan trains,
and they tried to do the World Fair thing, and that was the beginning of the end of the beginning.
Ooh, I can't wait to do a World's Fair episode, because I want to talk about my theory on like...
I think we kind of touched on it in a really old episode, but do we want to go deeper?
Maybe again in another...
Let's just,
another time.
We'll just keep circling back, because the past is where we exist now.
And we are... So basically, so that was her experience, and who knows how many of these resets, timeline shifts we've had. It was interesting because it was like her personal experience, like a memory, almost like a memory from the future. That's what it seemed like to me. Like she has, like, because I feel like we can have memories from the past, but then also from the future, since time is everything's happening at once. But I feel like some of our memories are actually future memories.
That's true.
So
I think Einstein
did he talk about that?
Theorized it.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's all playing out at the same time.
Yeah,
which that would explain. That's how God experiences everything. It's like all at once.
All at once.
Because God's outside of time.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody outside of time is going to be experiencing kind of everything non-linearly, but maybe in like a cake. A tier cake situation, I don't know.
A layer cake. Layer cake. And then we experienced it like stretched out, slow-mo kind of. But yeah, so the 1988 one is interesting because 1987 there was the harmonic convergence, which was like a huge it was like a mass world meditation, which I don't think had ever happened before on a worldwide scale. And I think it was like 144,000 was what they needed to reach a tipping point for the planet, and they did. I think it reached over 144,000, so they called it harmonic convergence. They reached whatever goal they were trying to reach. But it's really interesting because in 1988, that's the supposed timeline shift where something fractured in time. And
can I add to that?
Yes, go ahead.
I literally, as you were talking, thought of Legend of Korra, and one of the seasons, the great bad guy she has to defeat is her uncle, who is a water tribe politician who wants to use the harmonic convergence to take on supernatural abilities and like take over the world or whatever. But the fact that they use the word harmonic convergence, and it was the time when the spirit world and the physical world, there was the thin veil, and you were able to cross even if you didn't have access originally.
Oh, interesting.
So he was gonna, I think, take hold of, like, it was almost like a deity or like a high level spiritual being. He wanted it like possessed him actually.
Okay.
And it overpowered him. And
whoa.
It was the spirit of chaos.
Interesting. So it's like symbolic.
It's very symbolic. That show, I watched it on repeat after my head injury, and the symbolism in this show. And I watched it so many times, and I would cry every time Cora got debilitated. She actually got heavy metal poisoning and lost her ability to bend.
What? Okay, I feel like this is so, like, okay.
It's actually a really powerful show.
Truth.
It's so true, and it's not from the 80s, but the original cartoon came out in the 90s, I think.
Okay.
And then she's the sequel to it. So there's an Avatar, I think, every 100 years.
This is interesting. Is this a spin-off of, like, The Last Avatar? Or what is it?
Avatar
The Last
Airbender.
Is it, like...
So it's the sequel to it.
Okay, it's the sequel, because I was like, there's some similar themes here.
It's literally the sequel.
She's in Last Airbender, right? Is she?
She's not.
Oh, she's not. Okay, so she's like
trained by Korra, who was in The Last Airbender. There's a lot of characters from, but it's 100 years, so they're all old.
It's in the future. So Korra's like the next generation.
She's the next generation.
Okay. Or next multiple, like 100 years later.
But it's funny because the timeline from then to Korra is actually, it's almost in the, not 20s, maybe like 20s or 30s. Like, technology just started to become a thing.
Really? Oh, so this is like...
But it was overlapping with the fact that people could bend elements. So there was like a mystical element, but then like a vintage element.
Oh, wow.
It was a very weird merging of like two worlds.
Okay.
And then there was a really high-tech Archon element, and that was the final bad guy. It was like this woman who developed the ability to make directed energy lasers.
What? Okay, what is the... I feel like I need to watch the show.
It's actually
insane.
Really relevant to everything.
Really relevant. Well, I feel like, okay, heavy metal poisoning, so they've just given us all heavy metal poisoning, and then, like, so we can't access our superpowers? Is that what's going on? Like...
And it hurt too much when other people tried to bend it out of her, because there's metal benders in the show.
Oh, yeah.
And the most talented metal bender, the original metal bender, was like, I can bend it out of you, but it was hurting her too much. And she's like, fine, you just have to learn how to metal bend it out yourself. So it was an initiation to be able to pull it out of her own body by learning how to metal bend.
Fascinating. So we just all need to learn how to metal bend.
We all need to tap in.
Chemtrail bend and
chemtrail bend, metal bend,
fluoride bend.
Fluoride bend. All the bending.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. That just reminds me of fluoride. I don't want to get too off topic. Okay.
No, we can talk about fluoride.
I mean fluorite, not fluoride.
Okay.
So it just so similar, but so different.
So different.
No, I just learned that fluorite actually is one of the stones that can shield your aura. It's like an invisibility cloak for you, and it protects you from psychic attack.
That's amazing.
When people, and you're supposed to wear it kind of close to your heart center, so like in a necklace or something would be great. Or I don't know. I have a bracelet that I wear. Where is it? Bracelet. But yeah, I didn't know. I've worn fluorite for so long. I just naturally am drawn to it, I think, but I had no idea it was so protective. I think that rainbow obsidian also has similar properties, and what's the other one? I wrote it down. Oh, indigo gabbro, which I've never heard of. So
okay, crazy.
But like, I feel like fluorite, rainbow obsidian, those are two like really easy to get your hands on. But you and I have both been victims of psychic attack, and I don't know, just it's nice to have
this is all
spiritual
really
armor. Yeah, that was just fun fact.
Yeah, I was speaking with a couple of people back when I was going to church, and they used to be like heavily New Age, and they said that they had a shaman from Miami or something who took all the crystals from the Bible verse about the breastplate of the
I remember that thing. Yeah,
the garb of the priest.
Yeah.
So every stone from that breastplate he took and melded into like one thing. And when the person holding it was holding it, they were invisible to all psychic attacks.
Yeah.
It's like an invisibility shield.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's pretty cool.
That is cool. Do you know which ones they were?
It says so in the Bible. I know.
I'm so curious.
There's like emerald. There's lapis lazuli or sapphire, as they used to call lapis lazuli sapphire, supposedly.
Oh, interesting.
And then garnet, I believe, as well as
the garnet.
Oh, was there obsidian? I that's all I can pull from the top of my head. But lapis lazuli is interesting because that one was really prevalent in, I want to say, Egypt. Like that was what they built a lot of Babylon buildings with.
Oh, interesting.
Was lapis lazuli. Crystal protection is something I'm very passionate about. Crystals.
Mm-hmm. Crystals are amazing.
Crystals were my gateway drug into New Age. Everything New Age was through my crystal Bible book and my little sack of crystals I got for a Christmas gift, and then that was it. I was on my journey. I think one of them was fluorite.
So cool. Yeah, I love fluorite. It's just I love all crystals. You know the one I got recently? It was called Epidote. Have you heard of that one?
Yeah.
It's like a dark green. And I don't know why I was so drawn to it at the crystal store. I need to research it more because I'm like, why was I so drawn to it? But it's also a protection stone, I think. But it's like a dark, it's like a forest green.
Whoa.
But it looks like, you know, all sparkly. It's like amethyst, but dark green, you know.
That's
like that
really beautiful.
It's so beautiful. Yeah, that's my latest.
Green stones are, I feel like, teaming with abundance. Maybe heart chakra, maybe nature energy, elemental energy.
Yeah.
Could possibly be grounding. No. This is just all off the top of my head.
No, that all sounds like spot on. Yeah. I'm curious. I want to research
also
it more.
Also mature, because maturity is associated with dark green crystals. Like jade.
Yeah.
Jade is very feminine.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because there were these two guys who would like wear jade all the time, and they weren't very masculine. Jade's
so you
very
gotta be
feminine.
careful which
Men,
crystals
don't deck yourself out in jade unless you know what
jade.
you're in for. And then, so jade is also royalty.
Mm-hmm. It does feel like dark green reminds me of like a royalty.
It's a royal color.
Like a noble color. Also like wisdom. Yeah, like just a more mature, wise,
refined.
There was another word I was looking for. I don't remember.
Prestigious.
Yeah.
Exalted.
Yeah, kind of like all along something along those lines.
When did you get this crystal?
I got it. It would have been a couple months ago.
Oh. So it's a little while.
It's the last stone I bought. I haven't bought a stone in a couple months. It's been like 2 months. A little over 2 months. Yeah, like 2.5 months. Because I was shopping for my oldest daughter's birthday present, and we ended up at the crystal shop, and then I just stood out. I was like, I gotta get that. So, and then, you know, we got her some stuff too. We actually got her a giant piece of copper, which is so cool, like a giant copper coin.
Okay, that's amazing.
It was amazing.
Copper's powerful.
So cool. Yeah, and it was heavy. Like it's probably about that big, and then like maybe that thick. But it was like so heavy. It was so satisfying to hold it because it just had like this.
Even like if you sat on it or something.
I know, right?
You know those copper pyramids that you can sit under?
Yeah.
I forget what they're called. Then if you put that in the middle, it's like boom, supercharged. Copper time.
Supercharged. You know what's really interesting about the copper? This is another tangent, but my mom actually started experimenting with copper pyramids because she watched some talk on it and how it's like so high frequency, but for your garden. So she started putting them on our plants. So she made a bunch of they were metal, like she made them out of just regular wire, but then she wrapped them in copper and she put them on our plants, some of the plants, and then it was really interesting. The ones that didn't have the copper just like really struggled and were wilty and covered in pests, and all the ones with the pyramids were like flourishing, and it was crazy to observe because I was like, whoa, this is a thing. Like everything's the same, environment's the same, the dirt's the same.
Yeah, there's the control group, and then there's the copper group.
Yeah, and so the only difference was the copper pyramids, and everything under the copper pyramids thrived. And we had this one that it was like a broccoli that was growing, and it was pristine, and then I think it like got kicked off by like a squirrel, must have something, a cat bumped it off in the night, and we came out and it was covered in like aphids the next day. It was just crazy. It's like, whoa. Just
it
like
got bumped out of the copper, and then it got the aphids.
The copper pyramid fell off of it because they were just like little wire.
Copper pyramid fell off.
It fell off in the night. I think an animal kind of knocked it off or something.
That's crazy.
But then we went out and it was covered in aphids, and we were
so
just
it's also a pest repellent.
It's a pest repellent
and an animal maybe deterrent.
Maybe just like I feel like insects. Like I feel like it's an insect deterrent or like a predator kind of deterrent.
Because that squirrel or cat was offended. It was like, oh, they got me. I was going to eat a whole thing of broccoli. And then
it's probably a squirrel.
It was probably a squirrel. I
Or
don't
something.
think cats are into
Cats just
cruciferous vegetables.
No, I was going to say definitely not out for the broccoli. Although I don't think a squirrel would be either. I don't know. It was hunting for seeds that were in the dirt. And the broccoli was in its way.
It's funny you're talking about this because the broccoli was in its way. The Electric Permaculture is a book I've been wanting to read. I have it, I think, in like an Amazon cart somewhere or wish list or something.
Yeah.
But besides that book, was talking with people who've tried it out and had a lot of success. And some people will lace the copper underneath the garden bed.
You can do that, yeah.
So you can either do underneath and around, or I guess the pyramid is, I think that's a cute way to do it.
It's cute. It's more labor intensive. I mean, I know that I've heard that you can just stick like a rod in the ground and then wrap copper at the top and kind of like splay it out. So it's kind of like a burst, like a starburst kind of thing. Because I think the copper, you can get the ones that have like, they're multiple stranded, and then you just undo them, kind of like like an electrical cord, how it'll kind of fray out. It kind of frays out. But
now I'm really wanting to put like a giant copper thing over our garden.
Yeah, even copper pennies. I mean,
yeah.
Now that they've banned pennies.
Oh, that was interesting when they banned copper.
Yeah.
Or canceled copper, I guess.
Yeah. Just like they don't want us having copper, or they need it. Maybe they need it. They're hoarding it
I think they were gonna melt it and make
for their
giant snake
data
centers.
Yeah. Apparently, people are stealing the data out of. I mean, not the data, the copper out of the data centers, because there's like precious metals in these places. So people are getting fed up and just stealing things.
Sure.
Yeah.
And when they put that copper statue in front of the United Nations building to replace the beast that was not received very well by the public, we'll know what they did with it. That's where all our copper went, you guys.
Oh my gosh.
This is where our tax dollars go. I'm so glad.
Oh my goodness.
Always worthwhile endeavors.
Mm-hmm. Always.
What were we talking about? Sorry.
So I just went way off on a tangent. We were actually talking about the timeline reset.
Oh, timeline reset.
Yeah. I'm getting rosy cheeks because it's warm in here. We had to turn the fan on.
I'm so sweaty.
It's like it's a sauna in here. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so we'll back to the timeline reset, and we can go off on tangents again, of course. But yeah, so this was really interesting is that there's definitely like a time before, and I think people probably are tired of hearing Gen X, because I'm Gen X, and I'm sure people are tired of hearing us say over and over that like life was so different then. Like it's never been the same. There's never been anything like the 80s. Like we all want to go back. We're all nostalgic for it. We're just like, what happened? It was like such a loss.
But everyone who was in the 80s is nostalgic for it.
Yeah, but then even people who haven't been in the 80s or early 90s, I feel like it's kind of like 80s, early 90s. People are nostalgic for it too, that weren't even born in that time. It's like a collective nostalgia, because we have all the, like the He-Man that just came out, the Masters of the Universe, and what else? I mean, there's just been so many like 80s, 90s resurgences lately.
Our entire film production has become a retrograde.
Yeah.
They've just been going back in time.
Which is really interesting because there's like no original
There's
ideas
no original
anymore.
content coming out anymore.
It's like we're just
like
mimicking the
lull.
past. So I feel like the 80s was kind of, maybe early 90s was like the end of original ideas, and everything else since then has just been like on a loop, kind of copycatting whatever happened before whatever shift happened. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, the bigger the hair, the closer to God, and that spandex, the metallic spandex.
Oh my god, the
and
70s.
The leggings and the. It was such a production, but it was also alien. The
Super
music
alien.
coming out was really synthy. First of all,
for sure.
Synth music.
Mm-hmm.
So alien.
So alien. And the outfits, like metallic leather, and like the hair.
And the colors.
The colors were very glitter galactic. There was a lot of like star makeup, rainbow, like unicorns were huge.
Unicorns.
In the 80s.
Like that movie that came out in the 70s, I think, late 70s, the last unicorn movie,
which I still have not seen.
It's your movie.
I know.
I haven't seen it.
I need to see it. My kids have all seen it.
It is powerful because it's this unicorn, and unicorns just roamed the earth like any other mystical creature until this king, who was embittered and jealous and also obsessed, took all the unicorns, banished and cursed them into the ocean, and there was one left. I don't know how she got spared, but it's up to her to save them. But she also can, I think, turn into a human, and it's really funny because she's so etheric and magical that like all the guys are hitting on her and they want her
in her human form.
Oh,
interesting. Okay.
You know, they're just like obsessed with this woman because she's mystical,
magical creature.
But then all she cares about is like saving her unicorn family. So it's really funny because there's like a whole dissonance the whole time of like the human 3D guys that are like, we want you, and she's just like, I'm here to save my unicorn family. They're missing. I miss them. And she's just crying for her unicorn family the whole time.
Oh my gosh, I'm like smiling, but it's like sad, but it's like because this is like He-Man that I just watched.
Okay, talk about He-Man.
Well, he goes. It's just sort of the same concept. Like the movie opens with him as a kid, and then it all happens really instantly. He gets the sword of power, but then because Skeletor comes and invades, captures his parents, and then he has like 5 seconds to go through the portal to save himself from Eternia is where he lives, and so the sorceress opens the portal for him, and he has to jump through really quick with the sword of power, and she closes it before Skeletor can get the sword of power.
Oh.
And his name's Adam, actually. He-Man is Adam. But he comes to Earth, and it's really funny because then it's like flash forward like 15 years later, so he's like 25 now, but he's like on a date, and he's like his mission is to get back to Eternia, and he has to find the sword of power because when he teleports through the portal hole or whatever happens, he like loses the sword. He like lands in a river and the sword gets thrown, and so he's separated from the sword. So his mission on Earth, since he was 10, is to like find this sword of power and like get back to Eternia to like save his family. And so it's hilarious. He's like, it shows him on a date, and he's like telling her this whole like, yeah, and then Skeletor came, and then like the sword, and I have to just find the sword, and she's just like, oh my god, this guy is insane. But he's like, and then he has a roommate too, and his roommate's heard all these stories, and his roommate's just like, okay. And then what happened? It's just so funny, but it's kind of the same. He's just like can't be bothered with earthly trivial.
They never fully integrate.
No,
like
they're just on a mission.
They're just on a mission, and I respect that. I think that's part of the point and the messaging codes when you watch those films is you don't have to fully integrate into what's going on Earth.
Yeah.
The point is that you're different. You're
so
on a
true.
mission.
You're on a mission.
It's okay if you remember your galactic crazy roots. And you're a little out there.
Embrace the galactic.
Which reminded me as you were talking, and we'll continue with what you're talking about.
We'll just dip in and out of that.
But I remembered we were also going to talk about Transformers.
Yeah, okay, well, so this goes on a whole other tangent.
Right.
Because, I mean, I haven't watched Transformers in forever, but we were talking about Metatron. How, like, Metatron just gives me bad vibes. And, like, I think he's a fallen angel.
Ooh, yeah.
Because Metatron just doesn't even sound right. And then we were having a conversation, and I was like, he reminds me of like Megatron, Megatron, and Transformers. And you're like, Megatron's a Decepticon. He's the leader of the Decepticons. And I was like, oh my gosh.
It's crazy.
Metatron is a Decepticon.
Metatron might be a Decepticon. I was obsessed with Metatron for a moment, but I think I was just channeling something that was in the ethers. And Metatron, like, I had the poster above my bed at one point, and one of the things to, like, go when I went back to Christianity was that poster. I just was like, this doesn't feel right. I don't know, it's not right. I think I'm going to take it down. It's just geometry, but Metatron also is not named in the Bible. And so you have Archangel Michael, you have Archangel Raphael. I think you even have a Gabriel.
Totally
in there.
Ariel.
Maybe even an Ariel. I don't know, but
they all end in eel, like Raphael.
They end in eels. Metatron, when I looked into on the Wikipedia page, they were trying to find the origin of where this name came from, and it was a bunch of different theories, but it's a mixture of like Judaism and Catholicism and some other like weird sects that took different interpretations from verses, but one of the interpretations was the Prince of the World, which is what they call
Lucifer, Satan.
And so I was like, you cannot be calling this angel the Prince of the World. You're talking about Lucifer,
the demiurge, basically.
And what is he good for? Like, his elemental abilities are always, I wouldn't say, just out of reach or vague or debated.
They almost seem like AI-like to me. Like, it's weird. He seems very like mechanical, like a Transformer, a Decepticon, like a
exactly.
I don't know.
It's robotic.
Robotic.
It feels archonic.
Yeah.
It feels artificial.
Metatron. Just anything that ends in Tron. I mean, did they have like a movie named Tron? They had a movie named Tron in the 80s too. Wasn't that like about a robot?
Oh,
I don't even know.
Had a
Tron
TV show. What was it called? Anyways, there was a lot of like robot themes.
Yeah.
Around that time. Interesting with He-Man and with The Last Unicorn and with I think The Legend of Zelda, there was always the skeleton villain.
Oh, yeah.
I found that to be interesting.
That is interesting. What is that about?
What is that about?
Yeah.
The Grim Reaper type guy. I'm like, okay.
That is interesting.
But he's also like royalty, like he's on a throne somehow, or he's...
okay, well, this is interesting. So in He-Man, I think that he's the half, I forget He-Man's dad's name, but he's the king. And Skeletor is like the king's half brother.
Okay.
Who didn't get the throne, but always wanted the throne and the power.
Wait,
and
that's crazy. That might be The Last Unicorn, because there's the king, and then his advisor, I think, is a skeleton or something.
Okay, interesting.
Or he turns into a skeleton when he dies. I can't remember
how
that happened. I need to rewatch that movie, but I think there's a skeleton bad guy in there.
Interesting.
Correct me if I'm wrong. And then also The Legend of Zelda had. So there was that really annoying TV show that they came out with in the 80s, 90s of the video game franchise.
Oh, they actually had a TV show.
They had a TV show. It was horrible because he kept saying,
never...
well, excuse me, princess, and everybody hated him for that.
No. One of those characters. I don't know why they even add those types
It was really weird. Like, whoever...
Like, who thought that was a good idea?
To say over and over, like, each episode.
No, that's like Jar Jar Binks in Star Trek. Yeah. I mean, Star Wars, Star Trek, Star Wars.
It was painful.
Yeah.
And she was, like, normal, and he was always self-deprecating to her, which is not their dynamic in the video game.
Weird.
He's just saving her. She's just a damsel in distress. But in the TV show, they had to have quarrels all the time.
Oh, interesting.
And I was like, that's not... lover energy.
No.
Because he still wanted to date her, but he treated her like crap.
That's weird. Okay, so there's a weird theme of... We're going to have to go off on a tangent again. This is just going to be the tangent episode. So, like... Paul was actually just telling me about this. There was a show called The Honeymooners. Did you ever see that? I think it's from the 1950s.
Oh,
Like it was
okay,
like I Love
older.
Lucy era. Yeah, black and white. And he's like, it's so weird how culturally, like, people, this was the most popular show on TV at the time. And it's this guy who literally just comes home and, like, yell talks at his wife and just berates her. Like, he just puts her down constantly.
Deprecating.
It's so creepy. And that's it. That's the whole show. So he showed me a clip of it, and he's literally just, like, yell talking her the whole time and putting her down. Yeah, and it was, like, so... And then she just has to sass back. So it's just them sassing each other, because she's just trying to defend herself. Like, I think she's actually sweet, but she has to, like, defend herself against this, like, berating man.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, that's crazy. And that was the most popular show at the time. And then he's like, yeah, and then do you remember All in the Family? And I was like, oh, I kind of do remember it, but I only saw a few episodes of it. But he's like, yeah, it's just this racist, like, grouchy old man. And same thing, he just, like, is so mean to his wife. And then they have, like, a hippie son, I think, that's, like, I don't know. Whatever.
A radical idea that
yeah.
people are equal no matter their
Yeah.
skin color or something like that.
Something like that.
That's crazy.
So that's, yeah. The son is like the, what is it? The antagonist.
The antagonist. He's the black sheep.
But yeah, so he showed me a clip of that too. And I was like, oh my gosh. And that was also the most popular show for its time. And I was like, oh my gosh. So like culturally, kids are growing up with like men just being horrible to their wives and treating them like and then yeah, so I was like, oh,
historically that was an archetype or trope that was being pumped.
Yeah,
I want to say almost all through the 1900s when television was invented or whenever that started to become a thing. It was weird. It was like they needed to make sure that they programmed in, okay, you're married but you hate each other,
and the man is in charge and he can like berate you all he wants.
Even with I Love Lucy though, like she literally converts to lesbianism in an episode because of how poorly her partner treats her.
I never saw that episode.
And it was also,
that's a radical,
well, her and her new partner, because her new partner, the woman, was experiencing the same issue with her husband. So they're getting mistreated by their husband, so they become a lesbian couple. And the husbands are just waiting to see how long they can keep it up for. And it's like a whole joke. But I'm just like, maybe don't treat your wife like crap.
Yeah.
Just radical idea.
Yeah.
And then psychologists got together and all agreed that Gomez and Morticia were the healthiest couple in television.
Adore Morticia and Gomez.
And it's funny because it's true. They don't, like, it's not that scene of the husband and father coming home from work, berating his wife, getting mad about dinner or whatever. No. He adores her.
Like, worships the ground she walks on.
Which I think is, like, normal and healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And then she
adores him back.
She will show her love in all sorts of ways, like cutting off the roses because he's allergic, even though she loves roses. So she'll just keep the stems, and they find middle ground.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have their quirky children that they love unconditionally, and they support their passions, even though it's borderline pyromaniac, I don't know, whatever it is. So they were like the healthiest family on TV.
They really were.
And they were portrayed as misfit outcasts, which was weird.
But I think that's why I think the second movie is called Adam's Family Values, because they have family values.
Because they have family values.
Yeah.
They got promoted.
I love Morticia and Gomez. Like, they're so cute.
They're really adorable.
They love each other.
They love each other. Period.
Yeah. Literally till death do us part. Like, just like...
The romance doesn't die.
No.
There's respect there.
There is. Mutual respect, adoration. It's very sweet.
They have their graveyard activities.
Mm-hmm. They're very passionate. Yeah. It's so romantic, actually.
And the fact that he doesn't lose all that spice for her when she's a mother, because I feel like there's like a split, almost like the Madonna whore, where you can't have it all as a woman on TV. If you're a mother, you're just a mother. You're no longer a romantic, sensual being.
You're no longer, you can never yeah, no longer be like a sex object or
Right.
something. You're suddenly
Your
not
husband
sexy.
doesn't find you attractive anymore, is sort of the
Yeah.
energy that gets put out.
That's true. They do give it like a matronly.
They're like, and
sort of unsexy.
You will find her in one of those like
a moo dress.
Moo-moos.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which people on the internet
Mm-hmm.
are younger generation couples on the internet. The girls are wearing moo-moos with like the slippers. They're putting their hair up.
They are.
And they're filming their partner's reactions. The guys love it.
Do they?
They love a good moo-moo.
Oh, wow.
They want to like impregnate her.
Amazing.
Immediately.
Okay, so the moo is sexy.
So it's actually like it's a fertility blanket or
So, like,
something
bring back
that
the
you
moo-moo.
wear when you want to get to baby making.
Wow. So guys are into it. So what is this, Gen Z is into it?
I guess so. Whatever Gen it
Gen
is.
Z kink is like the moo.
The moo-moo.
Maybe because I almost wonder if this is a backlash from like too much being shown. Like there's been no mystery.
Yeah.
Like no mystery at all. And I'm all for like body confidence and all that. But like sometimes like you do need a little mystery to bring back, you know.
Be classy.
Yeah, or just like it's kind of like the librarian
sort
of thing.
Yeah.
Or like the sexy librarian, like, oh, what's under that turtleneck and like
let their
wool skirt
imagination work for it a little bit.
Yeah, like ooh, you know.
Totally.
I don't know. I always thought it would be fun to have like the librarian chic, like Instagram to like, because like literally all I see are just like half naked bodies on there or almost naked, and I'm like, wouldn't it be so funny to just start a page with like Victorian dresses or like librarian clothing and just to be sort of like...
This is actually, I think, the comeback of the librarian girl, like winning the jock or whoever was out of reach for her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is that timeline. I sent you that video. Did you see it? With the librarian looking girl and the jock guy?
Yes.
Marcello, what's his name? Marcello. He's hilarious. He's this Latino comedian on SNL now. He got promoted. He's amazing. He's hilarious. Mm-hmm. And he's playing this crazy energized jock who loves his clarinet playing bookworm girlfriend who's got the turtleneck and the glasses. It's really cute.
I love it.
And their love languages for each other. She watches Doctor Who with him, and
it's so cute.
It's really cute. So I was like, you know, these standards that we're told are beauty being pumped out in mainstream don't even reflect how most guys feel.
Yeah.
There's like a cognitive dissonance. The
so
only
true.
guys who actually, I think, go for it are the ones who are regularly maybe watching porn.
Yeah.
Or somebody, or like just a guy who's like in it because he's plugged into a screen for a myriad of other reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Just getting pumped with like the commercials and things like that.
Yeah.
We could do an episode on this, but Jean Kilbourne talks about this in depth with the advertisement industry. Mm-hmm. How we went from seeing like one advertisement a day to like 400 on average or something crazy.
Oh yeah.
And maybe a week. 400 seems like a lot in a day, but she broke it down. I wrote a paper on this in high school and I got such a bad grade and I was like, I'm ahead of my time.
You got it back. I had a teacher like that where I was like, oh, you know, where you like
spitting truth. I was like, this is why girls have eating disorders. There's such a dissonance and like distortion and perversion in our media. I was like calling it all out. It was something I was actually passionate about.
She wasn't ready for it.
C-.
Well, that's when you like you realize you've surpassed your teacher in intelligence because their intelligence threshold is only so far.
How could you get out a bad grade?
Because she just wasn't
killing us softly. It was. Let me tell you. The connections made and how they portray women in the media as these mindless pieces of meat that are used to sell an object, sometimes even with sexual abuse undertones or themes, suggestive material, pressurization, whatever it is. I'm like, guys, what they're naturally sexually attracted to usually isn't this distorted.
Yeah, it's a distortion.
It's weird.
And they're just pumping it through.
They couldn't suppress our Kundalini sexual powers, so they just wanted to distort and pervert it as much as possible, so that guys are so disconnected from their highest sexual expression and power.
Well, it's really interesting because it's like kind of a perfect segue back into like the 1988 timeline shift, because in 1987 every household had, like, on average, like one TV in their house, and then by 1999 it was 5 TV screens per house on average. But now you think about it, we have screens everywhere. Like, you can't, I mean, there's like restaurants that have TV screens, or like there's just screens everywhere. It's like permeated. So there's like a point where it obviously became like less even about distraction than like it's more about like a narrative control. Like it's just constant like the ads and just like bombardment of like, oh, this is what we want you to like think. So it's almost like some people are susceptible to the brainwashing, like as we see in like guys that like fall for the distorted image and they think that's what they want. Maybe that is what they want. But like, but there's guys that like, no, I want the moo or the like cute librarian girl, It's
Can I get a little wayward with this?
Yeah.
Pandas don't mate in captivity because they're being surveillanced all the time and watched all the time.
Fascinating.
So there was a power outage and the zoo closed down. Maybe there was a storm or something. That's when the pandas mated. After years, like all the experts.
Oh, they want their privacy.
Have been trying to get the pandas to mate. Oh. It took privacy.
Wow.
Because they don't want to show their like how they do their magic. Because pandas are magical creatures.
Magic.
We know this.
Yeah.
And I was like, imagine humans, the psychology of humans being surveillanced all the time. And it actually is making most people averse to having children. And it reduces your libido.
Yeah.
Because naturally, you want some privacy.
Mm-hmm.
Even babies, like when they start to develop self-consciousness, it's not even self-consciousness, it's just the awareness of if they need to poo, they're going to go behind a couch to do it or somewhere that they can focus, right? So it's like body movement stuff, whatever it is. This guy, I sent you that video too.
You did, yeah. This is like, I was like, this is like ringing a bell.
Yeah, where he was talking about how the younger generations now
not having kids.
They're not having kids, and the rate that they're having maybe one child is like going up higher, which is totally fine if you want to wait till you're older to have kids, and financially that makes sense with the economy. But it's also, he said, imagine how abused an animal has to get to stop its natural inclination towards reproduction, which is literally the technological influence on humanity has been one of abuse to the point that people don't want to reproduce anymore.
Yeah.
And that's so something to think about.
Whoa. That's pretty mind blowing.
Yeah.
What else?
What was I gonna talk about? Sailor Moon?
Yeah.
Were we still on the 8?
Well, we could just kind of finish it up. Let's see. I'm trying to think. So it's just interesting how, so I guess psychiatric diagnoses for dissociative disorders skyrocketed after 1988, which is interesting because it seems like everything past like the late 80s, early 90s, like started to feel a little unreal. And so I noticed, because I was born in 1979. And so I went through the whole decade of the 80s. So I would have been 8 in 1988 and 10 in 1990. But I noticed a shift in the 90s, like the early 90s is when I felt a shift and things started to feel different. It's really strange.
That's crazy.
And apparently when I had my Akashic record reading, she's like, when you were 12, she's like, you turned something off in you. Like there was something, she's like, you were like I had a sight or something, and she's like, you turned it off because you realized like something shifted in humanity was not, like you realized that people were not
ready.
Kind of like, or not on the same page. Like it was hard for me to, she's like, you started to feel out of place, which I thought was really interesting because I never knew that. And I had the reading when I was like, how old would I have been? Not that long ago. It was like 6 or 7 years ago that I had the reading.
Oh.
So.
Whoa.
Yeah. So she was. Yeah. So I had no idea that I had done that. So I'm like, oh, how do I reclaim that?
I mean, that would be a great hypnosis thing to do.
Yeah. I'm gonna do that in my session. I mean, maybe it's like turning back on already, but.
I mean, if we're talking about it, that's something to
consider.
Be in the field.
Yeah.
To reactivate it.
I wonder if it's something with like the timeline shifting where it just felt unsafe to like continue.
Yeah.
In like a sort of galactic trajectory, like it seems like we were all on collectively. I don't know.
I mean,
it's a mystery.
The supernatural abilities coming online, it feels like that has, like CERN, I think, was suppressing.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I said that word. Please don't shut down all of our technology.
All of everything just deactivates suddenly.
For certain is what I meant to say.
Keyword, don't say CERN on.
Yeah, that's not what I meant.
Yeah.
And so all that went down. I think postpone people activating or tapping into their supernatural abilities.
Mm-hmm.
But then also, with just this past retrograde, I felt like it was a lot of throat chakra frequency, intonation, sound codes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was also the fallout of the QHHT, integrating some of that.
Yeah.
But I think also I might be able to heal people supernaturally as a result of that session. That would be really great if that was the case. So I'm going to continue to dabble in that, and hopefully I'll have more like stories to share about that. But the sight thing is interesting, the oracle, because my ex-husband thought that he like saw into the future when we first got together. It reactivated his
you had like the codes that he needed to
abilities.
Oh, that's really interesting.
So he just got a ton of downloads about the future, and he was tapping into stuff that I had been given as a message from like my therapist, like years back. And so what was supernaturally activating for him, I think it was funny because he like never foresaw the podcast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like that wasn't, when that started, he was like, it just wasn't in my vision for you. Which is really funny.
That's super funny.
It's like, yeah, curveball. But actually, I think that's the curveball, was like, I had my throat suppression for so long. Because I think it just wasn't safe for me to speak truth.
Yeah.
For a long time. Mm-hmm. And this was the coming out of that, like, ability to speak.
Yeah.
Even about these things that have been on my heart for so long. Mm-hmm. And so maybe it's your time for your third eye.
Maybe.
Were you seeing into the future?
I don't know, because I don't remember.
Were you seeing beyond the veil, perhaps?
Okay, so I had some really... Well, it ties in with my name, which I'm not going to say on national television, right, or whatever this is. Are we on YouTube?
I love this for us. We are on national television. Wait. Let's manifest it. Heck yes.
So,
in
my name is sacred. But yeah, knows it. There's a handful of people that know it, but it's weird because it ties in, the meaning of it ties into, I remember when I was like 5, and it's really interesting because my name means like God being or sun being, like along that sort of, that kind of gist without giving the name away. But I remember like, for some reason I was like 5 and 6, because I remember the house, and like I'd be outside a lot, and I would have like all these magical memories, like seriously, of like almost like unicorn land. And I don't know how much of this is like just growing up in the 80s and being 5, but like it was like, oh no, you come from a land behind the sun. And I just always knew I was like a sun being. It was really weird. And then I was given my name years later. And it just like, it's weird. It's like putting all the puzzle pieces together, and it like all ties in together. Because you're just like, oh, I don't know. delusional or like, or not delusional, but you're just like, oh, I was just a dreamy child. But then it's weird. Then you start to get like confirmation and like validations the further along you go, and you're like, okay, wait a second, maybe this wasn't make believe. And I think that I think also we're taught that all these things are make believe,
Yes.
like they're mythical fairy tales. It's like just pretend, because they don't want us to believe in magic.
Yeah,
You know,
that's exactly
they
it.
don't want us to believe that magic is real. So they, like, I don't know.
The kids are actually super open.
They are, yeah, but they kind of smother it out of kids.
Well, they do smother it, and they're gaslighting it. They're saying like, "Oh, they're just kids will be kids. They're so imaginative. They're so creative. They're just making up this story right now that's very specific and maybe aren't historically accurate." But
Yeah.
I knew
So clever.
of a couple people who like could pinpoint, as their parents were driving along the road, pinpoint a location and say, "Oh, I used to live there," when they're little kids. You know, like past life stuff, or even with my daughter, she was doing Lemurian quartz healing on.
Oh yeah, she had she knew the whole thing, the
and
whole ritual.
She said a perfect sentence in English that I won't repeat, but it was literally channeled from
like ancient Lemuria.
And then she goes back to like her baby.
She's like
talk.
Tiny. She's like a little tiny person.
Yeah.
Like
she's a little tiny, like
she's
not talking sentences for the most part.
She's an ancient being in this little tiny, like not even a toddler yet.
And there was another time in the morning where she pops out of bed and the first thing she says is poema, which is Greek for craftsmanship. And it's kind of crazy because I feel like I've been channeling poema codes lately, where the ability to create is becoming easier and easier. I feel like the archetype of the artist and the craftsmanship person, the creator, the problem solver, the builder, whatever, we're all getting up levels.
Yeah.
To match the Archon Reptilian 40 timeline and counter it. So that's been really cool because I feel like less intimidated by new projects and more excited, which I think is actually like how you just become a Renaissance person, as you just see it all as an exciting new thing to try.
Yeah.
As opposed to being intimidated by the unknown.
Definitely.
So I'm going headfirst into that.
Loving this new timeline.
Great.
Well, and we've noticed shifts in other people too, where we're just like, did that person just do a 180?
What's
like,
happening?
Is it just me? Or just like, yeah, I mean, it's been really interesting. Oh, and the other thing we've noticed, which actually goes along with the whole 80s, 90s timeline shift thing, is that people that we know have also been experiencing this nostalgia. Okay, like my 17-year-old started listening to like the late 80s, early 90s music. It's literally like late 80s, early 90s obscure music, and that's kind of what got me on the whole. I mean, like I said, I always live in the 80s, but it was kind of like a different music than I normally listen to. It's more of like the dance.
She's literally offended that I didn't know the DJ Saved My Life song, which was hilarious.
That's right, and I didn't either.
I've never heard that.
You and I were both like, have we heard this?
Saved My Life.
And
like last
like
night or something like that.
That's right. And I think that one was actually from the 70s.
I mean, it was
like
groovy.
maybe early
it
80s. It's like disco era.
But I've never heard it before in my life.
Oh yeah, no, she's been on this whole like disco dance, kind of like 80s synthy, like Company B. That's the one who I showed you the video of, and they look like aliens. They have like the white wigs and the blue leather. They just look like galactic angels or something.
When will you wear wigs? It's the Lord of the Rings comedy interview. It's like, when will you wear wigs? Okay, sorry.
I just can't help myself. But yeah, so we were, I don't know, I was just like getting into that music because that's stuff I would listen to, but not regularly.
Yeah.
So we've been in that. So she's been on that kick. And then it was funny because then Paul was like, let's watch a movie before we leave, because he was going on a trip with my kids. And so it was like the night before they were leaving. He's like, let's just all watch a little family movie together. And then I was like, well, it's kind of late. I have to work tomorrow. Maybe we could just do like a show or something short. And he's like, okay, I'll look around. And then he came out. He's like, oh my gosh, I got the perfect thing. And he was telling the kids, he's like, your mom is going to love it. And I was like, what is it? And he's like, a surprise. And then we get in there and it's like Jem and the holograms. And I was like, what? Like, but then I just started having this, like, wait a second, everything was so galactic, like an alien and like magical. And so, like, because the hologram machine in Gem is called Synergy.
Okay, not only did he get you to watch that show, but when you brought it up to me, when we met up later that day,
that same day,
for no reason at all, when I woke up that morning, I was thinking of Gem and the Holograms. Mind you, I have never seen this show. I've seen clips of it. I've seen maybe the logo for it. Maybe I've heard one song in my whole life from it. And it came into my mind that day. And then someone else in the field was talking about it. And it was like in the field.
Yeah.
The Gem and the holograms all of a sudden.
And then I came in and I was like, hey, I've been watching Gem. And you were just like, wait, what?
I was like,
shut up. My mind.
Shut the front door.
It's like totally in the field.
The back door, shut the windows. Close it all down, because you could not be kidding me with this. Wild. Synchronicity. What are the odds? It's so niche.
Well, and then I was like, it feels like, what was I talking? I was talking about the shit. I was like, it feels like everything's feels like everything, like we were on a galactic sort of timeline, and like it was a like feel good time, the 80s. Like it felt like it was going into a really galactic, cool energy, like magical. And then something happened. Somebody like turned off the switch. They just like unplugged it. Yeah, and like what happened? And it was interesting because the other person that you were talking to earlier in that day was, you guys were having the same conversation.
Because in the 90s and
like,
the 2000s were so ugly and boring.
Yeah.
Compared to what was going on before. Like beige became a trend. I don't know.
Right. Neutrals.
Made no sense.
Or like, what? Neutral?
Made no sense.
Yeah, what happened to the unicorns?
Color was out of
and
style.
Glitter. Yeah.
Glitter, color, unicorns. They had to hide it all.
Yeah.
They were like, this is not trendy anymore.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
It's really weird. So it feels like, okay, we're just having like this nostalgia's in the field, and like the whole Masters of the Universe movie came out, and it just feels like it's in the field, like almost like, oh, are we trying to like re-pick up where we left off on that timeline now? Like,
so this is the $1 million question. Are we going back in time?
That's right, because you were talking about retrograde, but like, ooh, maybe we're really retrograding. Like,
that's
like a rewind.
It felt like the entire world retrograded, and then everyone collectively was like, let's just go back and start something different.
Yeah.
Was the feeling.
So I wonder, and for me, like the shift feels like it's just started happening like 2 weeks ago, or maybe it started happening earlier, but it just was really noticeable as of like 2 weeks ago. And I was like,
yeah,
what cosmically was happening? We had the Grand Trine.
Oh.
But there's also a whole humanity was supposed to split in July, right? And maybe some people are just continuing on the timeline and some of us are going back. Do you think maybe that's happening? Like there's that humanity shift, kind of like they talk about like a timeline split.
So the split.
We're just theorizing here.
The split could actually, the most relevant explanation I heard would align with our theory.
Okay.
Because it's not a half and half splitsies. It's like, oh, maybe some people are on the 4D Archon timeline. Maybe some people are like, I don't know, in the Bordeaux, or some people are in the highest divine loving organic timeline. And then, so I feel like there's fragmentation.
Yes.
But it's not like a even cut pie of like, oh, you're either in the timeline or in the positive timeline. It's not that clear cut because there's these different timelines that hold, I want to say, varying levels of density.
Yes.
So then maybe we're on the timeline that's benevolent, but also is going backwards.
Mm-hmm.
And is because I think the trajectory that a lot of the collective was, it was like a doomsday, gloomy trajectory that everybody was heading towards. And so to avert that, I think to thwart that timeline, the answer was just to go back. Maybe try something different. Because now we're kind of in this fun like 80s, 90s groovy vibe.
Yeah, it's a vibe.
And it's a lifestyle. I feel like it started, my gateway drug to this timeline was my Barbie Dream Girl makeover.
That's right.
That was my gateway drug to like being on this timeline.
Okay, so Barbie Dream Girl was the 80s.
I loved Barbie growing up.
Yeah. I had Barbies.
The Barbie movies. Have you seen the Barbie movies?
No. Are you talking about the ones where they like
the animated ones, like the Nutcracker?
Oh no, but my daughter had those when she was younger. My oldest daughter.
There is a unicorn one.
Is there?
There's a unicorn Pegasus one actually.
Oh.
That is the hot tamale.
I'm pretty sure she probably had that one. I never saw any of them.
And she does transform into a human. Interesting, the whole unicorn
into human thing.
Human girl.
What is that? Sorry, it's the dog.
I find that fascinating.
That is really fascinating. We were also talking about the skeleton thing.
Yeah, what was that?
Which was, yeah, I think I forgot to see. Well, I was gonna mention in He-Man Skeletor. So like the reason his face is a skeleton is because he was the scorned half brother or whatever, and like didn't get to become king, but wanted to have all the power. Like, why did he get to be king and I didn't? But I guess what happened was he tried to like burn his brother with acid or something like that, but it, like I don't know what happened. He had some sort of like he like tripped and fell or something, and it actually burned himself. Like half his face burned off, and then he was left with like half a face. So I guess Eowyn, his sorcerer, his like right hand sorcerer lady, burned the rest of his face off so that it was just a skeleton. So it was a failed acid burn attempt.
That's crazy.
And so talk about backfiring. Oh, the other thing I was going to say about He-Man is the original cartoon series. At the end of the series, I don't know if you've seen that show, but they would always have little morals at the end of the show. So they'd be like, oh yeah, so in this episode you can see where Skeletor was, trying to, like, he was like out for himself, but it backfired, or just like, I don't know, little thing, just like
That's
little
cute.
like, oh, or He-Man, did the right thing by doing this. I don't know, it was just like little like helpful life tips, like tips for being a better human. And I'm like, what happened to that kind of stuff? Like, we actually had morals at the end of our cartoons to kind of like recap the cartoon and be like, here's.
That was definitely a trend around that time.
Yeah.
Even with Sailor Moon, even though Sailor Moon was highly problematic in some ways.
Was it?
They always had like a little moral at the end.
Oh yeah. See, it was kind of like, so like the morals have gone out the window also.
Oh yeah, morals aren't trendy.
No.
The 2000s onward, forget it.
No. I know. So I'm like, oh, we're like nostalgic for that time too.
Yeah.
Even like customer, I feel like, gosh, this is such a tangent, but we were talking about customer service today. And it was actually Ashley and I were talking about it, and she was like, had the worst customer service like twice at the same place in town, and she's like, what's wrong? Like, it's like not even in their consciousness to give good customer service.
They don't even have the codes anymore.
Like, even if they messed up, they just don't even realize it. Like, oh yeah, I didn't put your order in, and oh yeah, you're just gonna have to pay for the extra money. Like, there's no like, oh, we're so sorry, or like, we'll compensate you for that, or here's a free muffin for
weird,
or like you don't have to pay for that. And like, because she ended up didn't even get what she wanted, and then like she put the order in early so she could pick it up because she was in a hurry. Got there, he forgot to put the order in, which was fine, but she's like, okay, but then he came out with the wrong thing, so she didn't even get what she ordered in the first place. And it was
weird.
like way late, and then there was no compensation, like no like, oh hey, sorry, it's on us.
I've been getting weird service at
Have you?
the tanning place.
Oh really?
I tan.
It's the Barbie Dream Girl.
It's the Barbie Dream Girl makeover, but
Yeah.
listen, it's the red light hybrid, so it's good for you.
Okay.
Oh,
Excellent.
This lady, if it's not the owner, who I love and is sweet, it's this gal who, she reminds me of like, I want to say a character from a movie, like on her phone, like, hi, you're checking, oh. And then like, you know, she's doing the punching in, but then like I tell her exactly what I'm wanting, and she makes me repeat it all again because she wasn't listening the first time.
She's like on her phone.
Yeah, doesn't like say goodbye. But I also think it's personal. I think if you're like operating at a higher frequency, some people will treat you worse, because she was totally nice to the gal who left before me, but like wouldn't even like say goodbye to me, and I was like, this is really weird.
Okay, I just had the weirdest episode at the post office. Kind of like that. It was really strange.
Do tell.
I'll tell. Let me tell my other story, because Paul and I went to get coffee this weekend because Ashley was telling me her story, and I was like, oh my gosh, we just had the weirdest customer service experience at the coffee shop. And we went in and like gave our order, and I was like, to go, and I was pretty sure I said to go. And so we ordered 2 mochas, and he got a ham and cheese croissant, and I got their like gluten-free scone or whatever, their cheddar scone. It's really good. So she gave it to me on a plate, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, because I was like, oh, maybe I forgot to say to go. I was like, can I get it to go? And she's like, oh, you did say that, didn't you? So I was like, oh, okay, cool, I did say it. I'm not going crazy. So she put it in a bag for me, which was fine. And this is all just little stuff, but it was just funny that they literally didn't get anything right.
Yeah.
So then we were waiting for our mochas, and there was only one person ahead of us, and it literally took forever. I'm just like, what's taking so long? And then Paul's like, oh, one of those is iced. And so like, because they're making both hot, and then they forgot to put the whipped cream on both of them. So then we got our drinks, so we're like, oh, sorry, can we get whipped cream on these? And then I was starting to feel kind of like the jerk customer, because I'm like, I'm feeling needy.
But you're
like,
just
I ordered, but I just wanted my order. Yeah, and then like we're standing there, and like his croissant is nowhere in sight, and I was like, oh, he ordered a ham and cheese croissant, and he asked for it to be heated up too. So like there was nothing being heated up.
So nothing was done right.
No, and so like we had to wait for that to get heated up. And I'm like, oh, it's really good we weren't in a hurry, because we were just chill. We were so chill about it. We were like, oh yeah, no problem. But it was really weird. I was like, you guys didn't actually get anything right. Except the mochas were amazing. The girl who made the mochas did a fantastic job. And she was the only one doing her job, I think, making drinks. But it was just funny. And there were like 5 of them working. And Paul and I were like, what? How? Like there's so many. Maybe there's too many of you. I don't know
what that's about.
It's like the incompetency crisis. Like, I'm just like, what's happening? We have more people than ever.
I find it interesting we're all having that
like,
experience in the past week or something.
Well, okay, so I'll tell you about at the post office. Oh, we have to drop the mail. Okay, so this is like a whole weird postal service thing. I guess it's national, but like they used to have a big bin in the back where if you had bulk mail, you could just go dump it in the bin and just like drive off and go about your day. But then I guess it's a hazmat hazard now to put. I guess they have to check everything first.
For them to do
no idea.
Like more than one order, I guess.
I have no idea. So anyways, we have to go inside, and there's a bin inside, but it's like the drop bin, so you have to pull it down, but it's just a pain because you can't just dump the bag of mail in there. You have to like put them in, and it fills up really quickly, so sometimes you can only get 1 load in. If you're lucky, you can get 2. But oftentimes, like I was having to go back twice in one day because you couldn't get it all in. So anyway, so I'm there, and I see this guy has a huge bag of mail, but he goes into the front part where you stand in line. But I guess he just went to go ask someone to open the side door. And I was like, oh. He's like, yeah, I'm having someone open the side door if you want to, like, bring your stuff over. Because he's like, did you used to put it in the bin in the back? I was like, oh, yeah. So he's like, yeah, it's a pain. But he's like, yeah, they'll just open the side door for you. So I was like, okay, cool. This is my new hack. I'm just going to go get the side door opened. So she just, like, dumps his stuff in. And then she gets to me, and she's like, oh, do you have anything hazardous in there? And I was like, no hazardous. She's like, okay, so no H's on any of the package. I was like, no, because I packed them all myself, and we don't sell hazardous stuff. And she was like, oh, Okay, well, I'm gonna have to check them. So she literally checks them one by one. I'm there for like 20 minutes, and I'm like, oh my god, I could have just dumped them in the bin. I was thinking, I was like, oh, this is gonna be so much quicker. But yeah, literally, she like let the other guy. She just like dumped his stuff, let him go.
Right, the contrast of
And
like,
then for me,
he's
she's
fine,
like,
but you look like you're selling
you look like
hazardous
trouble. Yeah, I was like wearing my professional work attire, and I don't know. She just, and she was older. She was a boomer.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
This could also be
But
like,
it was weird. It was
that's weird.
It was weird. I was like,
It's pointed. It's
it
personal.
was targeted. I
It
felt
sounds-
targeted.
This sounds personal.
I know. I was like, I've never met you before, and I just have my little bag of mail.
Yeah. Suspicious.
Super suspicious.
So-
It's totally benign substances. Like, it's actually here to help heal the planet. Maybe that's the thing.
I think that's
And
what
she's like,
is
oh, she's
offending on an energetic
healing
level.
substances. We can't have these just
Like, excuse me, did you not
going
get
out in the
the Matrix pamphlet for 2026, 2027?
yeah.
We're supposed to be going downhill.
No
Everyone's
healing
supposed
remedies.
to be sick and dying
Yeah.
and gone by
Yeah.
Generation XYZ Alpha.
Yeah, we actually encourage hazardous items. So
We wish they were hazardous.
yeah.
It's so weird.
So weird.
But
so
I do.
weird.
So technology is interesting because I feel like I disabled automatic updates on my phone.
Uh-huh.
It's still updating, which is weird.
Yeah, super weird. It's like overwriting your
It's
whole.
overwriting my consent. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
that's
okay.
a AI move of you.
Mhm.
And then I use Ecosia. I use 4G. So I'm trying to go back in time with my technological device. I'm trying to cut off all of the Archon, but I feel like maybe the Matrix is trying to update, and it can't.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe that's why we're hitting a wall with our society, because it's supposed to
Really
function
interesting.
perfectly at all times, right? Because
Yeah.
late stage
Maybe it's
capitalism,
updating.
nothing can go wrong,
Ooh.
business as usual. But now business
Maybe
is not as usual.
We're having a technical glitch.
We're
Or it's
having
like
a glitch.
the rainbow wheel where it's like thinking, loading. You know,
That's
like on
why-
a Mac computer.
That's the
Like,
energy,
oh, the rainbow wheel.
right? That's why
Okay.
they also can't produce new movies right now.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It is weird.
Everything stopped a little bit. It reminds me of that movie, The Girl Who Leapt Through Time.
That's the name of the movie?
It's a there's an English dub version of the Japanese original version.
Okay.
It's an anime movie. It's really good. And there's a scene where she uses up all her time travel number like ticket thingies.
Okay.
And then in the midst of her friend about to die, she accidentally like freezes all of time,
Oh, oops.
and so everything is like stopped, and she's just able to walk around the world, and everyone's frozen in place.
Interesting.
And it kind of reminds me of that.
That's really interesting.
Not for people,
Yeah.
but for the Archon 40 reptilian timeline, the late stage capitalistic, neoliberal, faux democratic, patriarchal, imperialist timeline.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just like stopped.
Yeah.
And
Yay.
it's like
We're trying to move forward,
Glitching.
but we're glitching out. Yeah. Love it. And the like galactic magic timeline is maybe
because this is
we both just had an
we
epiphany.
just-
Well, okay, because I feel like the magical timeline, I feel like there's been this Archon overlay over it.
wait, we just got the same download.
So I think that like maybe now the galactic magic unicorn timeline is overlaying now. Just taking over. Like in Eternia, okay, like He-Man, I just have to reference my new favorite movie. Like when he goes back to Eternia, it's all Skeletor land for when Skeletor takes over, and it's everything's dying and dead. But then
Mhm.
you know Adam comes back and saves everything, this sort of power, and like it just all goes back to lush greenery, beautiful again. Like just whoosh, like sweeps over the valley and it's beautiful again. So it's almost like that's happening.
that's happening.
Yeah.
And that coincides with the download I just got now, which is in the same way that humanity, if like the pendulum is directly dependent on how much you rely on technology directly affects how effective you are.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you rely on technology for everything, your evolution slows.
It's stunted.
And then the evolution of technology goes up because it's trying to meet the demand of you being incompetent. Mm-hmm. But if you slow and stop technology and that timeline and you're evolving yourself, then it tilts the other way.
Yeah.
So it makes me think of when the Archon timeline got frozen or paused. Mm-hmm. That's when the benevolent organic timeline was able to like rise.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
I wonder if it's because of the CERN.
I was wondering. It's a huge.
There's a lot going on right now. Yeah.
You were gonna say something.
Was I?
It was. I don't know if it's about the astrology or something else.
Regarding that, or
it felt like it was regarding that.
I'm trying to think. Well, I do have an interesting tidbit from the whole 80s, the whole 1988 timeline shift. It's so there's been like memory fragmentation since then. So like it's like the dissociative disorders have gone up.
Oh yeah.
Fragmented memories. Everything feels a little more dreamlike and memories are more convoluted. So it's interesting. So what is it? Those born before the shift, like we're able to reconstruct memories from the past, but like those born after the shift, the memories are more convoluted and more like in a dreamlike kind of sequence state. It's interesting.
Like compromised.
Yeah, just different. Like more
like recall is
nebulous. I feel like yeah, where you're getting
that. I feel like that was probably coinciding with when the Mandela effect became so prominent.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so the Mandela effect was 1990.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so crazy.
Something happened in the 80s.
Yeah,
because then like people all were like, wait, weren't there 52 states?
Because there was none of that before that. And suddenly in 1990, Mandela, people either remembered him dying in prison or getting out and like continuing on. It's just crazy. And that's crazy because that's such a huge, I mean, you remember when someone dies. Like that's
somebody
huge.
that prominent.
Yeah. Well, I have a really funny Mandela effect because Jiffy peanut butter is now just Jif. It's never been Jiffy. Jiffy's never existed apparently, but I remember Jif.
I remember
Jiffy because we had one of my friends. She was in a grade below me. Her name was Jennifer, but we all called her Jiffy. Was her nickname was Jiffy, and it was just like I think it was a nickname she got from when she was younger. Like her older brother called her that for something, and it just stuck. And so Jiffy. So we used to always call her Jiffy peanut butter. Like the peanut butter. We're like Jiffy. And I'm like, okay, so it's things like that where you're like, why would we call her Jiffy and not Jif?
I literally went into, I think it was my great-grandparents' house or maybe my great-uncle's house. They were all named the same because naming the same person over and over was a thing.
Yeah.
In this house, we went into their old refrigerator. Boom, Jiffy peanut butter. With the guy with the cane and the monocle.
Yeah.
Doing the whole thing.
Uh-huh.
It was a thing.
Whoa.
So,
interesting.
It was also a rotten thing of mayo and some sardines. That was it. That house was haunted AF.
Really?
Because there was the room of where one girl died from a lightning strike that hit the room and made the ceiling fall on her. Whoa. And you just look in that bedroom and like the boards are still like on the bed. So all the furniture was in the home, but everybody like left.
Wait, are they still in the house? Or
it was like an heirloom, like it was running in the family, but no one lived there because it was too dangerous and old.
Okay.
But they like had the property, and it eventually got demolished. I think because it was like too haunted,
unsafe, unfit.
You could fall through the floor at any point.
Sounds like it could be in a horror movie.
It was, and by the door there was just a basket of funeral letters unopened.
What?
Yeah.
Seriously?
So I started like opening them, and it was our deepest condolences, like in cursive with the ink pen, feather pen, or whatever. Oh, creepy.
Super
But they had a box
creepy.
TV.
Okay.
They had the little radio, and they had a lot of like old dolls and a lot of old books up in the attic. Stairs were really steep.
Wow.
Apparently, like almost like a 90-degree angle. You would walk up the stairs to the attic. That was a crazy experience.
Yeah. Stairs used to be crazy. We had a house, one of my old houses when I was younger, that had a converted attic, which was amazing. That was actually my room, was the whole upstairs.
Yeah.
So from age 9 to 15, that's where I lived. But yeah, the stairs getting up to it were perilous. Like, so many of us like fell down those stairs so many times. Like, nothing crazy, but like we slip and like end up sliding down the stairs. Yeah,
it's basically a slide.
It's a slide. You would like honestly at one point we just like got pillows and just started sliding down it.
That is safer actually.
I think so. It's just like, but yeah, it's old stairs. Or yeah,
I don't know. It was weird.
I know, cause like I don't know, like were they just
the dissonance of architecture is weird.
Yeah,
you know, because
nobody would build steps that way anymore.
I don't think they were measuring. I think they were just like
just up, like just vertical, just yeah. But I'm like, that's a little too vertical.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was like it looked like a one-story cabin home from the outside. But the fact that it lasted, it was over 100 years old.
Okay.
The building.
Yeah.
You could still explore inside of it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was made sturdy. It was just made weird.
There's some
it was
weird
elevated.
houses.
It was elevated, so we had to climb a ladder to get to the front door because the stairs going up to the front door were gone.
Are you serious?
So there's a weird portion of the house that's underneath the floor that I think is probably a basement that you can't go into anymore. It was weird how I think the local government or city was like, we have to demolish it, it's dangerous. And I was like, because it reminds people of the past. God forbid we know where our roots are.
God forbid.
But there was also a family member who like got assaulted and murdered just a walk from that property, and the guy who did it got off scot-free.
Whoa.
Yeah, he was 13.
What? Wait, he was the guy that did the murdering?
And the raping.
Was the 13 years old?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So he just got like a slap on the hand.
That's crazy.
Killed a girl.
What era was this? Like early 1900s or later?
I want to say early 1900s. Yeah.
Wow, that's dark.
It was dark.
It's dark.
Justice for Kathy.
Whoa.
I think my aunt's investigating it a little bit because she was like, why did he just not get?
Is it just because of his age? Because he was too young, maybe?
He tried to say he wasn't guilty, and they just were like, okay, guess we'll never know what happened.
Whoa, that's crazy. Wow.
And like y'all were on some.
There was some dark stuff happening in
lead,
yeah,
fluoride, I want to say asbestos,
arsenic. I don't know. Like, what are the old? I have no idea.
They were probably medicating all their kids with like cocaine.
Well, they used to have, because this is early 1900s.
Yeah.
There was some weird stuff going on then, because there were like insane asylums, and then there was what was I gonna say? There was like, I don't know. That's kind of like around the time of
that was after the
recess was like 1902.
Girl, you're making me think. Thoughts.
What's your thoughts?
I hypothesize that my grandparents came from like the direct line of like the people who got their minds wiped.
Oh, okay.
Because there was a bunch of mind issues on, I think, both sides, with my grandma and my grandpa. So my grandma's, was it my grandma's father who I think he just like died of an illness or something. I don't think he committed like there was some weird mind stuff going on. And then my grandpa, like there was the dementia, Alzheimer's, and then also schizophrenia.
Schizophrenia is big.
That's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, it's interesting when a bunch of people just maybe had mental illnesses undiagnosed during that time.
You know, it would be interesting to check because schizophrenia rates skyrocketed and the dissociative disorders skyrocketed after the 1988 timeline shift. It'd be interesting to see if it happens like after every reset.
That's what I'm thinking.
Like, does it spike after certain...
That's what I was wondering.
It'd be really interesting to like research that somehow. Like, I don't know. There was some weird stuff back then. I just remember because my daughter and I are really into silent films. And so when, did you ever use B-Flix? It was this whole like pirated, they shut it down, but it was this whole pirated, like you could stream videos on it. So I'm like admitting that I'm like, yeah. So I'm admitting to
we've all done it.
Yeah. But they had everything. Like it was the most extensive collection. You could find the most obscure stuff on there. So we used to look up silent films on there. But we would just kind of, you could watch the trailers for them. So we would look up the movies on B-Flix and then we would go to YouTube and see if we could find a trailer for it. And we couldn't find trailers for all of them, but like you could see footage for some of them. Mm-hmm. And we were like, you know, a lot of the 1920s ones like we liked, but we're like, well, what about earlier than that? Like 1910s, 1910 to 1920. And like the ones that we found, like we could actually see footage of some of them, were the weirdest, most disturbing, like psychologically, like horrifying footage I've ever seen. And I'm like, this is like the silent film era. And I'm like, were these people like tortured? Because the stuff that we were just like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have like nightmares for the rest of my life just for seeing like this like 2-minute footage from, but it was weird. And I'm like, what happened? Like what kind of weird? Because it was like insane asylum footage, and it was like people looked like vampires. It was like just very vampiric makeup, and that was still kind of a thing in the 20s films, like the vamp, you know, was kind of like a look, like the Be the Girl makeup, you know, it's just kind of like dark eyes, like dark lipstick,
like strong contrast,
like very vampiric,
but like black with the pale fit. Yeah.
So kind of like that was kind of coming out of that era. Like that was a softer version of like I think what was happening in 1910, 1920. But you think of that as like the Edwardian era, right? Before the Flapper Girl. Like you think of it as like a very beautiful era. But then I'm like the films, I'm like, what was happening? This is disturbing.
That says a lot that people found that to be entertainment around that time.
Yeah, and I'm like, because that was new. Oh.
I'm like, what's that mean?
Oh, I just don't have enough storage to record. So
that's fine.
We're done. But that's fine. We'll just keep going.
Yeah.
Okay, so our YouTube video is now cut off. But we're going to keep going with the audio.
Last one. That's all right.
So if you're on Spotify, you're in luck. But yeah, the weirdest, just bizarre. And obviously that was only what was available on B-Flix. I'm not saying that everything that came out during that time was disturbing, but the fact that there were so many videos made. And then also, did you hear about the like celluloid film fire?
No.
Okay, so I think like 98% of the movies that were made, the silent films, actually got burned up in a great fire.
Oh, like an Alexander warehouse library type situation.
A Library of Alexandria fire. Yep. And so all of that history just gone. And it was because they did it on celluloid film, and apparently it's like highly flammable material, but
apparently a lot of things were highly flammable around that time, including brick,
and
stone, cars,
and metal,
buildings, stone,
stone,
rock was highly flammable, combustible.
It's amazing because we like make fireplaces out of stone so that they don't.
I love that you're talking about fire and melting and things like this, because I wanted to drop the not literal B-O-M-B, but I wanted to talk about how the West Coast I had to in my brain do the
Be like
compass.
east, west, north, south, west.
I'm like, never eat soggy worms. Okay, the
Ours
west.
is waffles.
Ours is waffles. The West Coast fires from, I think it was all along from Washington to Oregon to California, oh, and then to Hawaii,
Mm-hmm.
were all Lemurian fire.
That's right. The
And-
Lemurian fires. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So I just find that to be really interesting that this has been hypothesized, these areas have been hypothesized to be the land of Lemuria, or what's left or fragmented of it or whatever, the remnants.
Mm-hmm.
The ley lines and the codes are still there
Mm-hmm.
in a lot of these like national parks or whatever.
Ooh, Mount Shasta.
And Maui, was it Maui that was?
Sorry, Lahaina.
Okay.
So that's in, Maui.
Yeah. So the Maui fire, and I mean it was weird because I was watching Moana, and
Where's the big island? I don't know Hawaii. I'm sorry.
No, I've never been
think it was
to
Maui.
Hawaii, but Hawaii is hypothesized to be Lemurian,
Mm-hmm.
as well as there's not the main island, but one of the smaller islands
I think
is the
Maui-
birthplace of humanity in the spring pool or whatever.
Okay, I think Maui is very. It's like a place where you can go get like your codes activated, like
yeah.
ancient. Yeah.
And the time theme plays into this because everything grows faster on the island, so the plants are growing faster. Technology is known to slow down the growth. Like our Archon technology with the EMF slows down
Mm-hmm.
organic life growth, but on the islands you have the opposite, where it's fast tracking organic matter's flourishing
Mm-hmm.
and expansion,
Yeah.
which is what happens to you when you are on that island. Is the codes and everything expands you faster onto
You
your
start to
highest.
flourish.
Yeah, and it's very feminine, right? Because everyone's on island time,
Yeah.
so you can show up 3 hours late to an appointment. It's probably not a big deal. Everybody's
3 hours late.
living their best life.
I feel like since I became a mom, like island time would be amazing. Like if I lived in a place that had
It
island
would
time.
be incredible.
Yeah.
And I watched that movie Soul Surfer. Oh my gosh.
What is that one?
With Bethany Hamilton, who had her arm bit off by a shark, and she and her family
this is
grew
like a
up on the
documentary.
island. It was a documentary.
Whoa.
And just watching that film was gorgeous, and I love that actress, Sophia something. Sophia Robb. Anna Sophia Robb. She's a cool looking actress.
Huh.
She looks very alien. She looks actually
Oh, wait.
Pleiadian.
What's her? I think I know who you're talking about.
She was in
I think I saw her in
a
one
famous
thing.
kids movie. I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, she's got like blonde
Blonde
hair.
hair.
Her eyes are kind of spaced apart for there. Is that the one
I think so.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
If so, yeah, very alien.
Yeah.
Like the very otherworldly energy.
Well, anyways, it's just weird because now they have all these billboards that are like, oh, if you drop a match or a lit cig or whatever, death to our city. A bunch of fear propaganda, you know? Like, I was just driving along that road and it was like, one spark can change everything. And it's like a half normal truck and a half direct energy laser truck.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was like, right, because that's why fragments, like little fires everywhere. None of it made sense, right?
Yeah.
Little fires everywhere,
Doesn't
all
make
in a
sense.
line down the Pacific Northwest. And also, sometimes plastic was melted in weird spots.
Mm-hmm.
But then the house next door was fine. You know what I mean?
It was really weird burn
And then
patterns.
there all those jokes that were like remember to paint your roof blue or whatever, you know, because the roofs, especially on Maui, decided who was melted and who stayed. And
that's just like ancient Egypt. The whole like, you know, putting the blood over the
that is another Egyptian thing.
Yeah, very
Like,
symbolic.
who lives, who dies.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a very, I think, maybe you told me this, on the island, that fire was horrible because there was a gas leak somehow that went out into the ocean.
Okay, that wasn't me that told you that, but...
So I was told by somebody during the Maui fires, there was a random gas leak. This made no sense.
Random gas leak.
That basically turned the ocean was covered in gasoline somehow.
That's crazy. So you couldn't even like escape in the water.
Exactly. And it was on fire gasoline water surrounding the island for those who tried to get off of it.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, that seems a little too on the nose. Like, are we really just gonna say that out of nowhere on an island where
just randomly the ocean catches fire?
The ocean's on fire now.
Just happened to have a gas leak that day. Yeah.
It made no sense. So people were like birding in the water when they tried to like escape.
That's crazy.
Although one mom, she like just held her kid under for like a supernatural long time and was able to mermaid swim.
Oh, Lemurian. That's so Lemurian.
To shore.
She turned into a mermaid.
She literally just channeled
that Lemurian energy.
Exactly.
And I love it. The mermaids are coming back, apparently.
So the mermaids are coming back, and
yeah,
I actually dreamt of a merman. And then when I tried to look up, because he told me his name in a dream, he goes, "I'm Arnold Dickens." And I was like, okay, weird.
It's very proper. It's very old.
So I looked up Arnold Dickens
from the
merman on the internet,
yeah,
the interwebs, and it was like, oh, the closest we can find is this poem called "The Forgotten Mermaid" by some guy, like some Dickens guy or Arnold guy. So I read this poem, and it was just about the forgotten, but I feel like it was a message.
Yeah.
Of the forgotten
mermaids
and mermaids.
The mer people.
The mer people.
Ooh.
So I was like, oh, mermaid codes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
And now they're trying to say that fire season is just a thing around here.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been a thing, actually. And that's the whole mind wipe mandala effect, where they're like, oh no, actually, Oregon weather's crazy, the seasons never made sense, and you guys have fires every summer. Like, they kept trying to plant that, and some people have, like, started to regurgitate.
Yeah.
To where they're casting their spells, talking some Archon type stuff there, and I'm like, no, I've been here my whole life. Here. Our seasons were as steady and balanced as they could come.
That's what I've heard.
And fires weren't a thing until I want to say maybe 10 years ago, if not later.
Well, I moved here it'll be 21 years ago this September.
Okay.
And I noticed a shift, like, yeah, probably like 10, 12 years ago.
It was like 2015, 2016.
The weather was pretty normal. And then it just
got weird.
Then it got weird. And I'm like, it's just like, it was noticeable. Because I'm like, feels like Southern California.
Right.
Like just drought, dry.
Dry.
Yeah.
And then the disappearance of water.
Yeah.
It's like, this is very anti-Lemurian.
So it's like an attack on Lemurian energy, because the Lemurian energy is trying to come back.
It is. It's having a comeback. I just got jealous.
It is. And I guess like the 80s was we were on a Lemurian timeline, I think. Because it was like mermaids, unicorns, magic, galactic, glitter, feminine. Although, yeah, I don't know.
Well, Sailor Moon was like, did you have notes you were going to reference?
No, I was just thinking, I was like, feminine. I mean, the 80s had a lot of androgyny, but I guess it was the men. Okay, so it was very feminine, because the women were feminine, but like the men
like
were
Prince
also
and
feminine.
David Bowie and even Michael Jackson got feminine. And then
just even the hair bands.
He-Man
the
was
big
like the bob.
And he was so gay. like in a sweet way. Like in a happy gay.
Yes.
Because like it's really cute. They reference that in the movie now, because he's just a big sweetheart.
Yeah.
It's funny because he's like bustle man. And it was funny because Paul was actually telling me this. Because he looked into it, because He-Man was his hero growing up, but then he's like, I looked into it because he's like, I started watching the shows again. He's like, oh, He-Man's really like effeminate. But I guess they had to do that to soften, because he was so like ferocious fierce, but they wanted to like soften that with like a oh, but he's a sweetie.
And so the pink tights helped.
Yeah.
And the bob.
Yeah, I guess. Either that or the people writing it were just really flamboyant. The 80s were flamboyant. I mean,
They were.
It could have just been part of the vibe, but
and yeah. I think it can be an alien thing where you're fighting gender norms just to I want to say like be provocative or get people thinking in terms of like Inoko, the artist Inoko.
Oh,
maybe they've gone too out there. They identify as they them.
Okay.
But the music is very alien. This person identifies as an alien.
Yeah.
And I'm just getting deja vu when I said that. Okay, and then
that's also part of possible timeline.
I actually haven't had deja vu in a long time.
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
Well, I feel like we're just talking about it's in the field because we're talking about.
But that's what the
timeline fragmentation
is. This timeline is deja vu.
Yeah, that's why we're having we have deja vu. We probably experience it in this timeline because it's like we're just what is it experience? We're trying to recreate from the past.
We're going back into the past and like healing those almost like unexplored things or making these connections that we missed.
Well, it's like we didn't finish. It's like an incompletion of sorts. Where it's like, wait, we have to get back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sailor Moon.
Okay, Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon.
But you were talking about Inoko.
Inoko, that was the full thought.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Just and the androgyny of aliens.
Yeah.
But how that got co-opted by the Archon reptilian timeline and took a weird turn.
Even like the hair bands, like the heavy metal, like Guns N' Roses and Poison, all those guys, Def Leppard, like they were all really feminine. Like they were like rock bands, but they all were like glam.
Yeah.
Like they had the long hair, and like they wore makeup, and they had like crazy cool clothes and like leggings, like leopard print leggings, and yeah, it was just interesting because I'm like, oh, they were like rockers, but like they were
beautiful,
very glam. Yeah, like it's all about glamour.
Who was that guy who would wear like the onesie sparkly leotards with the V? He was
Who was that?
A rock star. I think he had the big lips. Who is this guy?
I don't know. I was listening to more of the ones I named off. Cinderella.
Anyways, sorry, can't think of it.
Actually, this is so funny because I never saw them when I was growing up. But when I was 21, my boyfriend at the time was super into all of it. Like him and his friends were all into those like 80s bands that we grew up with.
Yeah.
And so, of course, I was too young when they came out to go see them. Like, my mom would never have been like... I mean, my mom was off going and seeing, like, Billy Idol concerts, but she never would have let me go. So, because I was, like, a huge Guns N' Roses fan, Poison, Def Leppard. But, yeah, so it was really funny because they're playing at Canocti Harbor and Resort. And so it was Poison, Cinderella, Winger, and... I can't remember the fourth one. But it was, like, 4 bands from that era. And it was really funny. Like, I was like, oh, I get to see Poison. And it was so great because they were kind of in their prime. I feel like they were all, like, dads in their 40s now.
Yeah.
So it was great. They had, like, they were, like, sober or more sober. They were all, like, dads. And, like, I don't know. They were just a little more clean cut, but still rocky. It was, like, a sexy rocker dad vibe.
Nice.
But they're not, like, wasted and plastered on stage. It was, like, actually good. Like, they're actually, like, it was amazing. It was an amazing concert. It was so fun.
Incredible.
I know. Well, it's funny because I saw Cinderella. My mom took me to a Moody Blues concert when I was like in 6th grade, and I was not into the Moody Blues, which I guess they're amazing, but it wasn't my thing. It was more her era. And so I was just like really irritated that I had to be there. But Cinderella came out and opened for them, and I just remember being like so unimpressed. I was like, who is that guy running around the stage screaming in tights? And then it was really funny, but then I saw them, like 10 years later. I was like, oh, these guys are actually really good. Because I was never a Cinderella fan, but then I was like, oh, I think I'm a fan.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's really funny.
They won you over.
They won me over. They kind of grew up. They
That's
matured a little. And then I was like, oh, wait, they had some really good songs.
I love that.
So it was funny. That's my funny little
tangent.
Awesome.
I don't know who those people are.
And then I just saw Def Leppard a couple years ago. I took the kids. Did I tell you that?
Oh.
And And Journey, have you heard of Journey?
No.
Okay, so these are all, Journey is more of like 70s, early 80s, and then Def Leppard is like 80s rock hair glam guys.
Amazing.
But yeah, they were playing kind of nearby. I mean, we had to drive like 4.5 hours to see them, but I was like, oh my gosh, they're on the West Coast. So I was like, we're gonna go see them, and they're all like in their 60s. So I'm like, well, we're just gonna go see, but they're all hanging in there, and they actually like still sound amazing.
That's incredible.
It was so fun. And it was so fun because it was just a whole like arena full of Gen X. And like there were like no kids. My kids were almost like the only kids there. And people were just like so stoked. They're like, oh my god, I can't believe your kids are here. Like this is incredible.
Of course.
They were like high-fiving us. They're like, yeah.
That's so cool.
But it was fun. It was just so fun. I was like, it was just like a Gen X like dream.
That's incredible.
It was so fun.
I don't know. Is Joan Jett in that generation?
Yeah.
Because my sister saw Joan Jett live.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So fun.
And she's had some fun concerts because she saw Weird Al live. You know Weird Al?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Paxton had a Weird Al phase.
He twerked on her. We have the video.
Oh my gosh.
He's wearing like a flame
Videographic evidence.
leotard and he's like twerking. It's hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
So,
That is so funny.
love Weird Al.
I think he's coming to town
Soon?
we'll talk about it after the pod. But yeah, I think
Amazing.
I think he's real close.
He's got some truth bombs.
Yeah, I can't
like-
figure out which side he's on, honestly.
Hardy in the CIA, and
He had one like a whole reptilian reveal.
He did. So aluminum
I'm
foil.
fancy. I'm so fancy, right? But I'm so
With aluminum foil. And it's a joke. It's a parody of Lord's Royals.
Royals. Yeah. Oh, it's Royals. Okay. Oh, was it like tinfoil? Maybe it's tinfoil.
And then he's talking about aluminum foil.
Okay. Maybe it's just called foil.
And then in the end of the video is when he reveals that all of his conspiracies were right.
Yeah.
And everything he's saying in there is like when he said when they faked the whole moon landing. Oh, he goes there.
Okay.
In the video. And everybody's laughing. They're like, oh, this guy's so funny. And he's like off his rocker as usual.
Uh-huh. Oh,
And I was watching the video and I'm like, oh, he's like planting
Yeah.
seeds.
I couldn't tell if he was like doing it to plant seeds.
No,
or if
because
he was,
everything he was saying wasn't even for those who know they know.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
That's
It
true.
wasn't all.
It's not general.
It wasn't just like unicorn.
Yeah.
Unicorns are real, but
Totally.
they're a little
Gotcha.
less. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was like he's plugged in. He knows what's
Right.
going on.
Because it's not. Yeah. Because depending on like what you know is how you interpret the video. I feel like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he's a genius because I feel like
Yeah.
he can swim between worlds. Like he can
I
still
think that's what he's
be
doing.
a comedian, but also wake people up.
They're the only ones that can get away with it. The comedians are literally the only ones
Like
that have been able
Jim
to.
Carrey before he
Yeah.
got or whatever erased.
I know. Yeah. What?
Erased, replaced.
Erased, replaced. And then there's George Carlin. Always had truth bombs.
George
Bill
Carlin.
Hicks was fantastic. Yeah.
George Carlin wasn't even trying to be subtle.
No.
He was just out. He was like,
Yeah.
this is what's going on.
Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle
Who also
before
got erased, replaced.
with that
Whatever's happening with the
they
like,
weren't even trying. He wasn't even the same shade of black anymore. It was like, and he was buff all the
I
time.
was gonna say he got ripped suddenly, but
It
like,
made
but
no
a bulky.
sense. And he wasn't funny anymore.
He wasn't
He was just like
he was so not interesting.
a wet blanket.
A wet blanket, and he was just about
Hair
money.
It was
Everything
just, like,
against-
it was all about money.
Everything against whatever Dave Chappelle stood for. Suddenly, this guy is like, oh, it's just about the money, haha. And then like that was it. It was like you're so not funny or interesting anymore.
No real motive or depth. It was just
No
like
depth. It was just like a. You guys could have
the program.
tried a little harder.
They did not
found someone with some
try with Dave
personality.
Chappelle at
Yeah.
all.
No.
These low budget clones, I'm telling you.
Well, everything's okay. So that's the other thing about the whole timeline shift theory. I'm just like everything's gotten so low budget.
It is low budget.
I'm like the green screens are bad, the acting's bad. Just
Oh, like
everything
with
is
the Snow White movie and the horrible CGI. They didn't even get real short people for the Snow White film. They CGI'd
yeah.
poorly
Wait, what?
the
The
dwarves
dwarf.
and the animals.
No.
Oh, it felt like a nightmare version of watching the animated film where, like, but part of it's real. It was weird.
Oh, that's weird because the original Snow White's really weird. Did you ever see the original Disney one?
My mom wouldn't let me because she was like, it's
It's
satanic.
scary. It is satanic.
And,
Well,
like,
because Disney's satanic. But, like,
Exactly.
yeah, I think his movies are just meant to, like, traumatize young kids.
That's what they do.
But Snow White was scary. It was evil and scary.
And,
sad.
well, the, like, being obsessed with her, like, youth and beauty is very much walking the line of the, like, blood adrenochrome stuff.
Oh, so much so. And Rapunzel.
With the red
taking
apple, too, I feel like that was symbolic of, like, I want your blood. I'm gonna drink it. To stay young forever. Kind of like Mother Gothel with the Rapunzel's hair in that movie.
Trying to get the essence, the youth essence from her hair. It's always about taking from the youth.
That movie,
Beautiful.
oh my god, that movie was a bomb drop. Sorry, I keep saying that word. I don't know if that's gonna flag me like the other word I say. But like every other word I say is like, I think a problem.
You're like, oops, we might have
I
triggered.
think free speech isn't a thing anymore. At least not on YouTube or anywhere else.
Well, we're just, yeah.
I was gonna say Sailor Moon.
Let's talk about Sailor Moon.
Let's talk about Sailor Moon. It's a crazy show because there's these leader planetary beings for each planet, right? So Saturn, Jupiter, Mars,
So all the
blah,
planets?
blah, blah. Yes.
Okay, and the moon.
And the moon.
Okay.
So the princess of all the planets is the moon, which I'm like, that's an ode to sidereal astrology to me, because I think sidereal is moon rules. I can't remember. Or the calendar is lunar.
Oh, it's a lunar calendar because it's 13 signs, which would be this.
So that to me could probably play into, because
It's not based on the Gregorian
it's
calendar.
not Gregorian, it's lunar, it's...
Yeah.
So the moon princess is the leader of all these planetary leaders. So you have Sailor Moon, Sailor Saturn, Sailor Mars, Sailor Jupiter. They all incarnate on Earth as babies and they lose their memories.
Again, mind wipe. How
Mind
interesting.
wipe,
This
and
reminds me of like
then-
Orphan Train vibes.
What's crazy is like they all start to, in order to activate their powers, they like will have past life remembrances of who they were before they came here.
This is wild.
It gets even crazier. All the characters, when they incarnate on Earth, most of them end up with an inversion of their planetary ability or archetypal powers. So Venus, she gets cursed by Dambarite and ends up is cursed to not find love in her life.
Oh my gosh.
Even though she's
She's
literally
love.
the goddess
She's
of
the
love.
embodiment of love. Oh, it's so sad.
So sad. And she's like such a positive attitude, go-getter girl, and she's one of the favorites. She's actually heralded the unofficial second leader because everybody loves her so much. So she gets love, but just not romantic love, which is devastating. And then Sailor Jupiter, when she incarnates, loses her parents in a car wreck, is broke and struggling for money all the time, and has to hustle to be like providing for herself as a teenager. And I was like, oh, because she's
Welcome
so
to Earth.
abundant.
Yeah. The benevolence are like having a sad.
And what's funny is she's blessed with being really tall, but that's kind of like a no-no for a girl in Japan, because it means like none of the guys want to date you if they're shorter than you. So
Oh my gosh.
she ends up like struggling to fit in and like find romance because she's seen as being like too much or too masculine, which is really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sailor Saturn just basically gets the most traumatized
No.
of all the planets, which makes perfect sense because
Yeah.
that's so Saturn.
Mm-hmm.
And she ends up getting, I think, surviving a fire, being bullied, and then like losing her mother, and her father just uses her for eugenic experiments.
Oh my gosh.
So
This is intense.
she ends up sacrificing herself for Chibiusa, Sailor Moon's daughter, and then she has to reincarnate as a baby again.
Whoa.
So that's the end of her arc. She was also the unofficial adopted daughter of the lesbian couple Uranus and Neptune were lesbian lovers,
Oh, fascinating.
which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a chaotic couple right there.
That's like
It's insane.
progressive.
Energy.
Because when was Sailor Moon?
It was in the 80s.
Because like a lesbian couple on TV was kind of unheard of.
So
at that time.
in Japan, it was fine, but
Okay,
when they
'cause
moved
they're
it to
just
the
more
U.S.,
progressive,
they
okay.
just made it incest.
Oh.
They were like, they're not a couple, they're cousins, but then that didn't translate well.
Yeah. No.
Also, the main character, Sailor Moon's lover, he ends up incarnating as a butthole. His name's Mamoru or Damien.
A butthole?
And he treats her like crap. Like the whole, most of the show. Like, they're supposed to have this, they have an incredible divine royal romance on the Moon Kingdom from their past life, but then in this life, he hits on her friends, treats her like crap, bullies her, makes fun of her, and is also statutorily a predator.
I feel like we're gonna have to revisit Sailor Moon when we do our whole masculinity podcast, like the Fallen Kings, because this is like very.
Because we were talking about how they were. First of all, Gem and the holograms, Rio is like a positive.
Oh, well, at first, I'm only 5 episodes in. There's 65 episodes, and I just read further in. Well, ultimately, he means to do well. I need to watch more, but but he ends up.
We were rooting for him.
Well, I think it's okay, but it gets tricky because him and Gem and Jerrica are the same person, but they're never in the same room at the same time. It's like Superman.
Yeah.
Like, and Rio's the only one who doesn't. Well, she has her holograms, and Rio is technically part of the holograms. He doesn't perform with her, but he's their manager. So I feel like he should be in the know.
He should be.
But she doesn't tell him, because I think she runs like a what could happen, or what will happen if I tell him thing with Synergy, the hologram. Like, she's like what, like running the scenario.
Like a negative timeline.
Like, if I tell him, and it comes out in a negative timeline, like he gets upset, and so she decides not to tell him, I think. But so then he ends up kind of like falling for Gem. He's in love with both of them, but he doesn't. But I'm like, but it's the same person.
It's the same person.
So it's really tricky. I feel like this is like such a soap opera. This was a soap opera. This was my cartoon.
Lois Lane with Peter Parker, Spider-Man. You know.
Oh, Lois Lane is Superman.
Sorry, what's the name of the?
Yeah, the reporter.
That girl who.
It's Lois Lane, right? Lois Lane and Superman
But they both had that
Spider-Man
complex of like a love interest falling for. It was really bad with Spider-Man. Like she was not interested in
the nerdy
Peter Parker.
Whoever
Like
her
name was, Tiger or something. I can't remember. She was like a jerk to him, but then she was like obsessed with Spider-Man, and I was like, I probably wouldn't date her if I were you.
Yeah.
So Sailor Moon basically had like, she had a kid with this guy. They ruled a kingdom together. They were the twin flame soul union, kingdom spouse partnership ideal blueprint, and then they incarnate, and he's a jerk. And they're off and on like the whole series, and it's just messy.
So basically, Earth just kind of like
messed everybody up.
Yeah.
And but it's also a great intro into astrology, because Mercury is like a nerd, which fits.
Yeah.
They kind of teach you planetary and archetypal energies to this show.
That's interesting.
And they also have a lot of bad guys who their whole evil superpower is sucking the vital life force energy out of humans. And there's this big bad guy called Pharaoh 90, which I find to be a very interesting villain name. And he sends his minions to inhabit or take over Earth so that his evil civilization can exist there to kind of, you know? So I'm like, oh, I think we kind of had that with like the pyramids and the weird gods that came with Egypt. Like, they wanted to rule and enslave humans and make this their new
realm. Yeah.
So interesting.
Very interesting. Who's reading this stuff? I feel like there's like truth bombs and all these kids like animated shows.
There's a lot of crystal references too.
Yeah.
A lot of like mirror magic. A lot
The
of magic.
Mirror magic is interesting. Yeah.
And Queen Beryl. I mean, they named these villains after crystals, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
There's Beryl. There's Danburite. There's Kunzite.
Kind of the more obscure crystals.
The ones that sound like edgy.
Yeah. Exotic.
never heard of this one before.
Like you do, right?
It will try to take over the world. That's this crystal's property.
Like, be careful with it. Because probably they're super powerful and magical. They
Yeah.
want to invert it and make people afraid of them.
Well, I feel like I've
Don't mess with that
experienced
crystal.
firsthand that crystals can have a shadow side. So that's,
Yeah, oh, that's true.
that's a journey.
Yeah.
And quartz is technically just a
An
channel.
amplifier, right?
So you
Mhm.
have to clear out your quartz because it will just take on whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's just an
It
antenna.
needs to be charged.
So
yeah.
crystal magic is interesting to me because also the occult does crystal magic. It's
Mhm.
something I have to remind myself.
It can be used for.
And then I had that crazy, it was the yellow bumblebee jasper, which is an 11th dimension bridge between worlds crystal. And it's from this one of its kind acid spring volcano in Indonesia or something. And it literally glows green like kryptonite. Just, you could not swim in it. Don't do that. I fell asleep with this crystal on me and then have just like the weirdest alien encounter. My mermaid, can I tell about the weird ocean people?
Oh yeah, that's up to you.
I mean, I feel totally fine.
Yeah.
I think they want me to talk about them.
Okay.
Otherwise, I would be like.
So they came up. They're like, we're now you're doing a podcast.
Exactly.
We
I
wanna
think
be-
they want
wanna be the
some
next one.
publicity and
I
some.
think so.
What's the word? Like
Fanfare.
Yeah.
Some, like, yeah.
So I had an encounter. This is why this is like the weirdest retrograde ever too. I had an encounter with these beings from a different dimension that came to me kind of in a dream space. I'm in an empty, abandoned bus, I guess is the setting. And I have them closing in on me, and they're these translucent purple blue jelly squid head, shark teeth, almost hammerhead shark shoulder pad type ocean people. They kind of remind me of the Zoras from Legend of Zelda. Those who know. And they also remind me of the shark people from One Piece. I've never seen a creature like this before though. Like the squid head was interesting.
Yeah.
And they were kind of smiling and they had like a ton of shark teeth.
I mean, I can picture it.
And I could not, I was unsettled. I pendulum muscle tested. I was like, are these benevolent or malevolent beings after the fact? And it was like neutral. Like neither. And they came to me and the woman wanted to, I think, have sex with me. She was coming on to me and I was like, no, thank you. I'm kind of straight now. Like, I'm not about that life anymore. And you scare me.
Those teeth.
Those teeth are like, I don't know, you're smiling, but the vibes aren't friendly. It was just
sounds sketchy.
weird.
Start doing things.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're like, I might get injured.
So I wanted to know, I want to find out where they're from. I feel like it's really obscure. I wasn't getting that they were Neptunian or anything like that, but definitely oceanic.
Mm-hmm.
So then
Definitely.
I was like wondering if they were maybe connected to Lemuria.
Yeah, I'm wondering too.
Because I've also been having like the mermaid.
Just the Lemurian timeline is definitely coming up. So
and
I
I've
feel
been
like it's related.
Yeah, and I've been praying for the liberation of planetary water. So maybe they're just like, what are you doing?
Maybe they're like the guardians, some sort of guardian, or they sound like a little fierce.
They're kind of warrior.
Like maybe
type.
a warrior type that's like here to just. They're like bodyguards for the water or something like that.
They do seem
like an outer, kind of like they'd be on the fringes.
Exactly.
For like to stop intruders or something.
Totally.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Oh, you're just giving me like a bunch of downloads.
Okay, cool.
With that, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my new alien species that I discovered are like these jelly squid shark people.
Squid shark people.
Okay.
Cool. Like think on that.
Just something to
chew on.
Chew on. With your shark teeth.
Should should we talk about Milli Vanilli? Are you done with Sailor Moon though?
I'm
Like, is there more thoughts on Sailor
I feel
Moon?
complete about it.
I feel like we just definitely need to bring the whole Sailor Moon and her twin flame thing back up because that's such the male archetype. It's like on Earth. It's like almost like because we've talked about the men are like almost like fallen nobility, and it's just been inverted.
Something to say about that is when Damien would turn into Tuxedo Mask, he wouldn't remember he was Tuxedo Mask.
Wait. Oh, that's his name, Damien?
Damien.
So this is Sailor Moon's lover. Okay, and he turns into Tuxedo Mask. Tuxedo
Mask is his alter ego, but then he loses his memory every time he turns back into Damien. So he doesn't know that he's Tuxedo Mask.
Okay, and that's the higher twin flame?
And that's the higher...
okay.
He's a knight, he's a protector of the Sailor Guardian.
Ooh, okay.
And he's very sweet to her. So then there's this duality of his higher self is I'm a knight, I'm a protector, I'm here for my princess.
Oh my gosh.
He gets it, he has the codes, but then he forgets, and then he becomes an asshole.
Okay, so I think this is just such a thing. It's playing out with the men on Earth right now.
The dissonance between their past life or archetypally higher self.
Yeah.
And the forgetting.
Yeah.
Is so
forgetting.
Strong.
It's so strong. The amnesia is strong.
The curse veil, whatever it is, it's whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll definitely revisit that one.
Okay.
Because that's
feels relevant.
It does.
I know of for Hope for Humanity though. I think I've officially encountered and have given a reading for a real twin flame soul union kingdom spouse couple, which I'm just oh my god, I was honored. I was I've never dealt with this before. It felt like an initiation.
Yeah.
As a reader too, I'm always plugging into that energy, and I was am I an imposter because I got ejected off that timeline? But literally, I think God wants it for me just to witness these people are going to change the world, which is why
I
only
love that.
twin flame unions, only 30% of them made it.
Yeah,
because it was so interfered. There was so much interference.
Yeah.
So God originally had a bunch of unions that were going to happen, and then so many of them became distorted, or one of them fell out. It's called the runner or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where usually one of them
becomes a runner,
just avoiding for all of eternity.
Yeah.
The other person, they're just no. Avoidant attachment style, basically, but to the max. They have avoided all the lives, the incarnate, of everything.
Oh my gosh, just running through lifetimes.
Just they're running from it, all of it. God was I'm gonna finish that good work in you, and they're bet.
Nope.
So.
So interesting. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the unions got hijacked a little bit, but there's 30% that have successfully stabilized.
Okay, so we're
in the 3D realm.
We're inching our way up. The numbers are going up slowly. Maybe they'll start to snowball.
That's
and
how
get
I
momentum.
feel is it'll break mass.
Yeah.
I think we'll get a breaking mass moment for kingdom spouse partnerships, soul unions, and finally romantic love will be healthy and amazing and supernatural again, because that seems to be a huge glass ceiling for most people right now.
We were actually just trying to think about this the other day at work. We were talking, and I was are there any... Wait, were you there? Were there... Oh yeah, because this is when Morticia and Gomez came up, because we're are there any healthy...
So,
what's a healthy marriage that we've seen on film, or are there any good examples for relationships or twin flame? I'm and you were Morticia and Gomez. And I was yeah.
And then that was it. I couldn't think.
And then I was maybe Rio, but I'm not far enough in the series.
We're not sure.
And then
Rio,
that's on Jem Jerica, because they should have told him that it was the same person. Because honestly, I'm well, it's not really his fault. He's falling in love with the same because it's the same person.
Right.
But it looks like cheating, but it's the same person.
Oh my gosh, it's that song. If you like pina coladas, I hate that song.
Oh yeah, Alexa loves that song.
Of course she does.
It's hilarious.
My parents listen to it unironically too, and I'm just
Shows
like,
up, and it's like the same.
like they both were cheating on each other, you guys.
With
like,
each other.
With each other. They were both gonna cheat
Like,
on each other with each other, but it doesn't make it okay. I think they need to go to therapy.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is like they were showing sides of them to each other they hadn't shown each other before.
Right.
And so I'm like, oh, you guys just don't know each other. That like you were looking for things in this person that you didn't even realize that
they
were
didn't
that
see each other anymore.
Yeah.
And what's
like,
annoying is I'm like,
they weren't dating each other. They stopped dating each other.
There was no romance. He literally calls her his old lady in the beginning of the song.
Oh, I know.
And I was like, well, that's your first mistake.
Yeah.
Calling your woman your old lady.
Yeah, right there.
I would just shoot myself.
Yeah. Just no.
Never call me that. I'm getting a divorce.
Yeah. Call me something sweet or sexy.
I'm packing my bags. I'll be like that photo of that woman in the black minx fur jacket with the red lipstick and the glasses, and the guy is like groveling at her knees in divorce court. Oh my god, that's an iconic photo.
Very iconic.
And all the comments on that photo are just like, "It's over, man. You're never getting her back."
You're just like, you lost me, old lady.
She's got the fur coat.
Yeah.
She's got the lipstick.
Moving on up.
There's actually a bird in the animal kingdom that looks like a divorced.
Oh, is it the bird of paradise?
I think so.
The black with the red markings.
And I think like homeopathically it might have that picture.
Ooh.
I'm not totally sure. I would have to investigate it, but if it fits the picture, it's kind of like a doctrine of signatures, but for birds. It's like that bird looks divorced. It probably is spiritually divorced. It's got the energy, the codes for divorce.
Fascinating.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, that just reminds me. Oh, no, this is great. This is a great conversation because this is how our conversations normally go. We're just like, oh, and another thing, and another thing.
The birds.
And then we make it back around eventually.
We always find our way
the
back.
original topic. But no, it just reminds me of the whole. If you like Pina Colada song.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's a line in a Tori Amos song that she says because he's like leaving her for another woman, and she's like, maybe she's just pieces of me you've never seen. And I'm like, oh my gosh,
that is.
And then
truth.
oh my god, there's a mermaid reference. She's like, what if I'm a mermaid in these jeans of yours with her name still on it? Oh my gosh. Okay, anyways, this just popped in.
Well, and she's swimming in those jeans because they don't fit her because they're probably too big.
Yeah.
Because she's a mermaid.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
And,
okay, the mermaid codes are crazy. Did you see that show H2O?
No.
It was literally a mermaid show.
Wait,
and
what?
it was like a fun teeny boppy vibe.
Oh my gosh.
And I think they made a movie around that time. It wasn't called H2O, but was it called? There was a mermaid movie. I have to pull it up. It is like what a teenage girl in that era would think of a mermaid is like. You know what I mean? Like all the magic, and she's like the most popular girl.
I wonder, Alexa read a mermaid series? Wait, Alexa read a couple mermaid series, but it just kind of rings a bell. Like they made a movie. It was like a writer. She writes magical books, but then she did like a more of a teenage type story.
Okay, well, in this
I
film,
forget what it's called, but they made a movie out of it, a book, and I almost wonder if that's what it is.
Well, I loved this film. It was super cute because in this film, she falls for this really like Chad-looking, hot guy in school or whatever, and he ends up breaking her heart, and so she like swims out to the ocean to like end it all or whatever, and then her human friend like swims out there with her, and then like the whole premise of the movie was like human mermaid friendship. It wasn't a love story.
Okay. Oh.
And it was actually really sweet. Like it was really
Super
cute. Because like she was just gonna like write off being in the human world altogether and just disappear into the ocean or whatever. And then her human friend was like, "No, I want you here." Like it was really sweet.
Aww.
So there's that. I don't know. It's just good vibes.
Yeah. Yay.
Yay mermaids.
Love good vibes. They're making a comeback.
Good vibes are making a comeback.
The mermaids are making a comeback.
Oh,
Good
the
vibes
mermaid.
too. I'm I mean, good vibes too. We'll take it. I mean, I'm into the like 80s revival, 80s, 90s revival, 80s, early 90s revival.
Oh my god. The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Never saw that one.
Was that 90s?
I think it was, or maybe
Or
early
was it
2000s.
80s?
I don't remember.
Early
I think it was
2000s?
90s. Or,
Oh, but I'm way off base with that one.
I don't remember. It could have been late 90s.
Also magical vibes though.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I never saw that one. I don't know what summer we want to talk about.
Sidereal astrology.
I could talk about true sidereal just briefly. I actually went back 2 weeks because I was curious, and I have no idea what's going on in traditional or tropical astrology right now, people. So
I lost track after the basket.
All I know, there was Barbelt's basket, and then I know that we're coming up on the Lionsgate portal.
Oh, you know,
what's that?
The Day at a Time. We had the Day out of time on.
Oh, the Kazemi, right?
Maybe
it was the Kazemi, and because that's during retrograde, right?
Well, it happened on July 25th. It was according to the Mayan calendar. That's the new year in Mayan calendar, but it's also the Day at a Time.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if that was like the official, like, and time doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
Because that's also when I stopped caring.
Because there's a. And July was like marked by so many
significant astrological. Oh my!
Just
it was
so
a
many
setup
like across
for something major.
The board, everyone's like July is gonna be the month, no matter what religion.
All the astrologers were talking about it.
Whatever you belief system you adhere to, that was like across the board.
Yep.
July is the month. So really interesting. I definitely felt a huge shift. But in true sidereal, so I went back 2 weeks. The sun was in Gemini. And I have no idea what it would have been in traditional. It would have been July is Cancer.
Okay, so it's Gemini.
Because we just moved into Leo. Yeah, but in sidereal it's Gemini, which is such a contrast from Cancer. It'll be moving into Cancer because it's slower in sidereal. So in traditional, it would be in Cancer already, but in sidereal, it's like moving into Cancer.
I will say I've been feeling the Gemini remnant energy linger.
Have you? Okay. Yeah, because I think it's still lingering.
Felt like the retrograde linger too.
I think there's still, yeah. It definitely, well, the Mercury was retrograde in Gemini in true sidereal. So we're doing true sidereal, which is 13 signs, because it includes Ophiuchus, the 13th sign.
Yeah.
So so it's going to be all different because they call it true sky astrology because it's what's actually happening in the sky right now rather than
300
because the constellations are traditional astrology actually is like 400 years behind the time, which is great. It still applies. It's just more of like who we are trying to grow out of. It's almost like an archetype, the archetypes that keep us like in the past.
It is like a past life thing almost.
Past life, yeah. It's like our deeply ingrained behavioral patterns, like where we've been, and true sidereal is like where we're going, what we want to like grow into, like evolve into, basically. So anyway, Sun in Gemini, Mercury was also retrograde in Gemini. So it was a lot of themes around communication, information. I don't know if you felt that. I definitely did. It was just like a ton of people from the past coming up, and it was like communication, like weirdness, like not weirdness, but just like I think a lot of misunderstandings around like where it was that theme of like, oh, I want to help people and be altruistic, but I have to let them be on their journey and not step in, like not interfere with their karma. It's like you're like, I want to help, but you're like, oh my gosh, and you had that too, like themes of that coming up where it was like, oh, they don't even remember the times that I've helped. It just was like a amnesia of sorts.
Yeah, it was a reprioritization of my energy into, I want to say, just focusing on myself.
For sure.
Not leaking out onto, not taking on extra homework, as they say.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Communication was weird too.
It was, it felt like a little, there were some rough patches with communication. And then Venus has been in Leo in true sidereal, which I think it also has been in tropical.
Okay.
I think that still tracks because some of it overlaps. It's the same. So of course that's the self-expression, fiery energy. Mars is in Taurus,
Well, that's fun.
which has been slower actions. I think we kind of felt a slowing down of things, like more
That's how I felt.
self-reliance. I did too, which is amazing because I was suddenly like,
We were halted.
oh, I'm like not racing everywhere because I'm usually just like go go go.
Yes.
And I was like, I think I'm gonna sleep in today, and oh, I think I'm gonna sleep in the next day, and oh, I'm gonna have a
sleeping is just a
4-hour
regular
work
thing
day.
for me now.
That's the thing. Okay, so also we've noticed the extreme fatigue.
Yes.
I think
Across the board.
pretty much everyone around us has also been experiencing extreme fatigue.
Insane levels.
Insane.
I woke up and then almost fell asleep on the couch.
Yeah.
Like, and it was coming upon me.
The sleep was descending.
It was a heavy, cloaked energy that was just like, oh.
Sleep is gonna overtake you now.
That's what happened. It wasn't
amazing.
of my own volition. It was like, you're in this.
It does feel like an overtaking because I feel like almost it's not, I can't control it. I just turn that snooze button on and
it was
out
kind
of my
of
control.
because I think part of the hustle for me has just been like my own will being absolutely
just fierce will, sheer will,
guns ablazing, full speed ahead, and then that energy was like it overrode that, which was impressive because I'm just so like I can
just
like
keep, on it.
Because I'm a Capricorn, I can just keep going, just
go.
And now it was like no,
on purpose.
You're gonna stop. And so I got to a point where I was like begging somebody to take my child so I could know. Please. I will pay you money. How much money do you want for me to sleep for an hour?
Yeah.
I need this.
Well, I had that one day where I went to work for like 4 hours, and then I was gonna come home and be all gung ho and get all this stuff done,
right,
and then I fell asleep. I fell asleep for like
we
4 hours. I know. And then I got up for an hour, watched Gem, and then went back to sleep for 10 hours.
I love that.
And that was my day.
You did your homework? Back to bed.
Yeah. But every day like that has just been, I mean, I haven't been taking naps, but I've been just sleeping in, which is crazy. I don't sleep in.
It's been a long time coming for you, too.
I think I've earned it. Yeah. Okay, so Moon Moon has been in Libra. This is like 2 weeks ago astrology, so I'm like working up to where we're at now. So which is contracts and interpersonal dealings, but I feel like soul contracts on a deep level. It feels like soul contracts are.
I literally pulled the soul contracts card, and I was cutting cords. I was like, this is
majorly cutting cords.
Relevant.
Like that was part of the huge shift where I was like, wait a second, like people do 180s or just like this is done, like we're done here. Energy, like that soul contract is null and void.
For real.
Yeah. So I'm like, whoa.
I had like couple people that it was the contract was over and then they didn't get the memo, so it was like,
oh yeah, well good luck to them.
And at some point you're just like, okay, I'm not gonna
just
there's nothing
good
there.
luck there.
Yeah.
Okay, Saturn went retrograde.
Oh, that's interesting.
And so Saturn is okay, so this is interesting because Saturn is like long-term plans, but it went retrograde into Pisces. So I think it's
chaotic.
Pisces, yeah, it's like that watery, dissolving energy. So it's almost like a halt in the plans, right? So it's kind of a good time to, well, I think just like any retrograde, it's a good time to stop and reflect and maybe like fine-tune the plans a little bit.
Can I say something about Saturn?
Yes.
There was a fun article I read where I love this astrologer. I wish I could reference them properly, but they were talking about how Saturn is like, think of Saturn as like a benevolent father figure that wants to give you everything you want.
Oh yeah.
But they don't just hand it to you.
It's
they
like
want you to earn it.
Ooh.
They want you to learn the lessons, like get all the juiciness that comes with getting what you want as opposed to just giving it to you.
Right. So you're not to become like a spoiled brat.
Exactly. So it's generosity within reason.
Yeah.
Or manifestation within reason.
It's like an old school father.
Yeah. Discipline. But not like I'm just gonna, you know what I like people have a weird, I think archetypally most people are like father wounded, so they don't know what a healthy father is.
Completely. Oh my gosh.
But
Yeah.
imagine like a benevolent king from your favorite show or whatever.
Like a King Arthur type or something.
Exactly. Like somebody who knows
like a fatherly
how to lead by example and be like I'm gonna entrust you with this kingdom, but you have to learn how to.
He-Man's dad is fitting this archetype because he's so stern. Like he has the 10-year-old memory of his dad being so hard on him, but it's because his dad like wants him to succeed, and he finds that out in the end when he like comes back.
That's literally a great example of Saturn.
Yeah, he's so total Saturn energy. I wish I could remember his name. It's like King Randall or something like that.
King Randall.
I don't.
He facilitates the plot. Randall.
Yeah. Well, because he's just there in the beginning for a second, and then he's there in the end for a little bit. So he's not in it very much, but he's there enough to be like
he made He-Man who he is.
Yeah, he played a part till he was 10, and then sent him on his not by choice. Obviously, Skeletor intercepted long before, because He-Man's 10 when Skeletor comes to attack the kingdom. And then he goes into the Earth realm for 15 years. So he's like 25 when he finally finds the sword again and is able to go back to Eternia. And everyone's like, you've been caught for like 15 years. Where have you been? Because they've just been waiting this whole time. Aww. And his parents have been captive by Skeletor this whole time. But this whole time, it's great because they have a moment at the end, him and his dad. And he thinks his dad wasn't proud of him, but his dad was like, I'm so proud of you. And it's the whole
thumbs up from Poppy.
He got the thumbs up. And it was just dad was just doing the stern dad thing and just wanting the best for him, wanting him to be strong.
I wonder if a Saturn retrograde is that time when he feels like his dad wasn't there for him. Like if that's the collective energy.
Yeah.
People's relationship to Saturn is taking a back seat, and then we're all just feeling like we didn't get our way or something's off, or like we're in dissonance with the archetypal father.
Yeah. It's interesting about Saturn because I think Saturn is misunderstood.
Very.
Because I'm actually on my Saturn line in astrocartography, and it's been a journey because I've been where I'm at now for 21 years almost. Next month I'll have been here for 21 years, and it's been challenging but also so magical, and it's all about soul growth. So I'm like, you know what, people complain about being on their Saturn line, but I'm like, it will turn you into you can make the Saturn line your bitch, basically. You can let it drown you, or you can take it by the reins and make so much magic out of it. You can let it turn you into a warrior, or you can let it
turns you into a warrior.
Yeah, or you can just succumb to it and let it ruin your life. But I just feel like it can shape you into someone that you didn't know you could be without that stern father, energy.
And it's not you get it overnight. It's the slowest planet, but that also is building legacy.
Yeah.
I feel like almost with a royal family, hypothetically, it's you're not just willy-nilly in the wind. You're trying to establish something with foundations that will stand the test of time with Saturn. And so that's why he's often the old man or old father time.
Yeah.
And it's the leading energy of my sign, Capricorn. And I'm in my Saturn return, or in the shadow of it.
Great.
I mean, I kind of feel like my life just started in some ways. Everything was actually just leading up to this. And maybe I'll continue to just feel that way for every other major moment in my life moving forward, because that's kind of just
everything leads to this moment.
Yeah.
There's moments that stand out more than others.
But it just felt like, no, now I'm on my highest timeline now, and I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Just a fun little tidbit about Saturn. It's
totally.
I think it can be a positive. There was a curse on it, but I think the curse got broken, so we're good now.
Yay.
With Saturn.
Well, my dad's kind of like a Saturn dad.
Is he?
Yeah. It's very stern, but I used to get frustrated as a kid because I felt like he was so hard on me. He's the Japanese father. He's my dad's half Japanese. So he's that very Japanese energy. Very stoic, not a lot of emotion. And like everything has to be like just right. You know, like there's an order to everything. And so I used to get frustrated. But now I'm so grateful because it's like turned me into the type of person that can handle a Saturn line, like living on a Saturn line. Because I do feel like living on a Saturn line, it's challenging. It's definitely like the school of hard knocks, right? But like you can work with it and like make it. There's been so much magic that's come out of just the, I guess, challenges, you know. So it's just interesting.
He was training you.
He was preparing me for my Saturn line. Oh my gosh, thanks, Dad.
That's so crazy to think about.
We also know Michelle is on her Saturn line here too, but she had a very different outlook on it. Like everything was blamed. Everything that went wrong was like, oh, it's because of my Saturn line.
Yeah.
It's so hard because of my Saturn line, and I just need to move away from my Saturn line. It was just all about escaping and running away and like blame. And I'm like, you can let it kick your ass or you can embrace it and turn it into something and let it turn you into something.
Yeah.
You know, but not for everybody. Not for the faint of heart.
She's built different.
Yeah. Okay, so that was 2 weeks ago astrology. Now last week was the full moon in Capricorn. Yeah, which it was full moon in Leo in tropical, right? Is that right?
Sorry, in Western?
Just the traditional.
In Western, we had a full moon in Aquarius.
Oh, Aquarius. Okay.
And then this you're saying was in Capricorn.
So this is in Capricorn. So I'm wondering if you felt this, because this is about seeing the long-term goals for yourself, and then also discipline, perseverance. But this is so interesting because the sun was in Cancer, so like that's such a dichotomy, right? Like that's
very different.
Yeah. And so it was also, so the Barball's basket applies in sidereal too. So the grand trine was happening with this too. So all the outer planets, it's Barball's basket, but it's also a grand trine of all the outer planets. So the full moon is very activating to the grand trine, because I think it kind of just moves into the center and like completes the basket. Whoa. So it's like an activation. And so this was about, with the full moon in Capricorn and sun in Cancer, last week's energy was about integrating your public life, which is like the Capricorn moon, and then with your personal life, which is the Cancer sun. So it's all about like integrating the whole thing and like bringing balance into your life.
This is crazy.
So interesting. So yeah, so it's about integration and just like bringing it all together. Did you feel that?
I mean, I just did some cohesive updates on my website.
Yeah.
And then it was like tying it all together, and then I like got some clear downloads on what I need to do for my business moving forward. But also, the Capricorn necklace you gave me.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
And what's crazy is in sidereal, I'm a Capricorn sun in Western, but in sidereal, I'm a Cap rising. So either way, my trajectory is Capricorn.
Yeah.
In both astrology, which blows my mind.
Yeah.
Because it's like, no matter what, I'm destined to have to master my material presence and my financial abundance with this incarnation. So I was just like, whoa, that needs to be integrated for sure. But the moon, that full moon, was more of, it felt like a transition or like a bridge or like a closing of an old chapter and then stepping into like a new.
Very much so. Like I felt that too, like hardcore. And I don't really have, my sidereal, it's funny because I'm like traditional sidereal. In traditional astrology, my Venus is in Capricorn. But I don't think I have any Capricorn placements in sidereal. I'll have to go back and look that up. Yeah. I should know my sidereal chart. I'm actually new to this true sidereal journey, so I'm like kind of learning also, like,
I have
as
a
we
lot
go.
to read up on.
Yeah. But I do know I'm actually Scorpio Ophiuchus cusp in sidereal, true sidereal, which is so interesting.
That's
I'm like both.
Intense.
That's intense. I'm like, that's snake and Scorpio energy. Scorpion energy.
And
Scorpion
Scorpion rules the rectum, anus, genital area, pelvic, like bowl, and then Ophiuchus is
the sneaky, like,
Kundalini,
Kundalini,
and then transform in like something
we're
new.
like the index. We are like the index keepers of the codes of the zodiac or something. Like it's interesting.
Oh, you're like the
I'm
library?
Like, yeah, I'm like a librarian, which I love because I would like this fucking dream life as being a librarian.
That would explain why you
books.
literally activated my Lemurian past life stuff.
Ooh.
You single-handedly did that.
Yeah. That's right.
You're just the library. You're like, here's the book. Oh, and you also were like, and you're an oracle.
That's right. We had that conversation.
And I won't throw away your cards.
And I'm just gonna keep your cards for you for safekeeping until you're ready again. Aww. It reminds me of. Did we talk about this in Eon Flux? Did you ever see the movie?
No.
With, oh my gosh. It's what's her name? The blonde. I can't believe this is my, oh my god. This is my Gen X, like, age showing. Like, no, it's the timeline. I'm having memory lapses from the fragmented timeline.
Mandala effect.
What's her name? Oh my gosh. She's such a famous actress. Anyways, Eon Flux. If you've seen it, you know who the actress is. It's like a love story, but so what happens is there's this plague that wipes out 90% of the planet. So like 10% of there's 10% of the people survive this plague, sort of, but it makes them all sterile. Oh. So there's two brothers that kind of lead who's left, and they're like scientists, one of them's a scientist. I don't think the other one is. He's kind of like the scorned younger brother, which is kind of a theme too. Like, what's up with that?
Like a Loki, Thor,
yeah, it's
archetype,
just kind of like the Skeletor.
The Skeletor guy,
just like the scorned younger brother who just is bitter because he wasn't born first, I guess.
Right.
I don't know, but anyway, so the one brother is a scientist, and he learns how to clone. So he develops cloning technology, so he can keep cloning people. But he's trying to clone people. He's trying to keep the race alive while he tries to figure out how to bring back fertility. Okay. So that's the whole thing. But there's this whole love story part of it. Like Eon, I think her name's, what's her name? Jessica or something in real life, but she becomes Eon. But it's interesting because I think they go like 7 or 8 generations, and his younger brother actually there's this guy, so there's like an airship in the sky that holds everyone's DNA, and there's this,
that's crazy.
There's this old like monk kind of guy, and he like has this really cool futuristic costume, but he's like the DNA keeper. He's like the keeper, the protector of the DNA. He's like the DNA guardian, and so he like. Okay. And it just floats in the sky above the city, and like everyone's DNA is in there. And I don't think anyone knows what's in there, but like he's just there as the protector. And the scorned younger brother at some point orders him. So when everyone first, what is it? I think Eon perishes or something like that the first time around. She finally dies, and the younger brother's like, destroy this one. Her DNA is bad or something, like she's no good. And then the guy who becomes like he's like a doctor in like the first rendition or whatever, and then he becomes the monk keeper in this guy, you know. But he throws him off, and he's like, I think she's important, like to himself. And so it's interesting. So anyway, so like Eon is this whole like story about saving humanity, but in the end she ends up in there, like she's this crazy athletic warrior, and she gets up into the airship in the sky and meets with that guy, and he tells her the story of like how the younger brother wanted him to destroy her DNA, but he was like, in that moment he's like, I knew you were important, and he's like, I knew I needed to save your DNA until the time was right to bring you back or whatever. But anyways, that just reminds me of that. It just reminded me of like, I mean, that's like, it's cool. It's cool. It just reminds me of like, I was like, Violet, I'm keeping your oracle cards for you until you're ready.
You're my DNA mom.
I'm Well, she needs her cards. She doesn't know it yet, but when she's ready,
You could have
she'll
let
come back to me.
let me Doreen Virtue my life, but you didn't, girl. You held them, thank you. Because it turns out Doreen Virtue did dabble in the occult, and that's why she went so hard the other direction.
That makes so much
Doesn't it make
sense.
because you don't just like go New Age to like
no
swearing off of sound bowl healing, and you know, I'm like she was trying.
I'm like
met
she
the
met a
devil and some
demon, yeah.
demons,
Something
because she was messing
she
with
met the
stuff.
boss, yeah. Yeah,
That's what happened.
Totally.
Yeah.
I don't do that.
It wasn't like she did yoga and a demon went up her butthole when she was in downward dog or something. Like,
right.
I don't know what
It was
Christians
like
think
summoned.
the New Age is like, but it's way different than the occult. Let's just draw that differentiation.
Yeah.
They're not the same, and if someone thinks they're the same, they're on the wrong side of whatever's going on.
Oh, also like the Lionsgate portal is like New Age BS.
It's
Just
New Age
according to
BS.
True Sidereal, it's New Age BS. So we're just throwing out there. We're not going to talk about Lionsgate, but just FYI.
And the Laura Faye Pleiadian Oracle, who's now just the Laura Faye on YouTube, Oracle or whatever, she also thinks the Lionsgate portal is BS. And her readings, sometimes they're super accurate, mixed in with mumbo jumbo, and I love her. She's amazing. So
she's got truth gems in there.
She's got some gems, and she was like, "The Lionsgate, let's not pay too much attention to what's going on with this."
I think we're giving a lot of our energy into like a false portal. It's like an artificial portal, and like so many people are like, it's like an energetic harvesting.
Kind of like Burning Man.
Sorts. Yes.
So it gives that vibe of like a bunch of naive
Burning
people
Man
who are
vibes.
like, "This sounds right. The numbers are fun. We're gonna use this as an excuse to wear our tie-dye thongs and smear glitter on ourselves and do
like
some weird chants
ritual.
and try to get our merkabas going
and like do some manifestation ritual all to the Lionsgate, which is probably not benevolent.
No.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I don't know. It just requires further research.
We will
Because
investigate
the reason
further.
it's an artificial portal is because the planets that are supposed to align for the Lionsgate portal actually aren't aligned in the sky like they say it is, which you'll only find out if you follow True Sidereal.
Here's something I want to know.
It's like a hoax. It's a trap.
You know, this might tie into, because I'm just getting downloaded with this now, from that, the Biggest Secret by David Icke.
Oh, yeah.
He talks about the Draco constellation.
Yes.
And I'm like,
I think that's part of it. Isn't it Draco and Sirius? And I need to research further.
So I'm like, maybe because I'm thinking of this right now, it has something to do with the Lionsgate is the Draco constellation.
I think there's something to that.
Because it's weird to me that all astrologers that you could ever meet don't talk about it or include it in readings. And I'm like, it's kind of a big deal. Are you just not? It's the same attitude they have towards the actual reptilians.
Yeah.
Which is like, they don't exist. Also, ignore this constellation.
Right. This giant constellation.
It's literally a snake that they built a lot of civilizations and like, I don't know, ley line and architectural magic off of, but it's not important.
Yeah.
Ignore it. What?
I don't know.
And then that had me thinking about something else, which was, well, I can't remember now. Continue.
Okay, I'm wrapping up.
Yes.
And then we can draw an oracle card. You can draw an oracle card. So that was really interesting about the integration of Capricorn, Moon, Sun, and Cancer. And then, so Pluto's in Capricorn, which is also the same as traditional astrology. So that's just the same theme, major restructuring collectively, 1700s energy. Like we're back to 1777 kind of thing.
Wow.
Yeah, which is also another era that I love.
777?
1700s.
Angel.
Jupiter's a big player right now, which obviously Jupiter's so benevolent. We love Jupiter. It's like inspiration, opportunity, new perspectives. Venus is squaring to Mars, which is, this is another integration. So interesting. Because Venus, the feminine, is like an attracting, receptive energy. And Mars is the masculine, pursuing, acquiring energy.
Oh.
And so right now with Venus going to Mars, we want to integrate the two. So this is like a huge integration time.
Wow.
And this cycle actually started back in January, the whole Venus-Mars squaring.
That's a big
So
deal.
squares,
That's very masculine,
huge.
feminine, archetypal,
Like more balance.
balancing.
It's just about balancing and integrating.
That's
Lots of integration.
really relevant to my card readings. Continue.
Yeah, and then so with that squares are like a great time to take action. So I feel like that's the energy because I'm like, not only am I sleeping, but I'm taking action in my sleep somehow because I'm like making things happen. I'm getting more sleep than ever, but I'm like, things are happening. And you too, because you're like your website, you're like night weaning now. I mean, just things are happening.
Things are moving.
Yeah,
And
you're just like,
pulling.
I need to do this to get to the next step, right?
Today I pulled action and square card, and I was like, what does that mean? And I was like, I'm just going to ignore that. That's what that was.
That's the true
He was
sidereal
trying
energy.
to tell me about
Oh my
astrology. I'm sorry. My
gosh.
cards, they overestimate me. They're like, you're smart. You'll figure it out. I'm like, no, it's a triangle and a square. I'm like, what's that
like,
mean?
this is geometry.
It was astrology.
I don't understand. Okay, so that was last week into this week, and then Venus just went into Virgo on Friday, so 2 days ago.
Okay.
Which is Virgo, detail, structure, autonomy, daily habits, you know, just.
So where's the love in your daily life? The little things, the love and
bringing love to
the
the things that need to get done. Yeah.
Ooh.
Bringing love to the details.
It's like it reminds me of like where the rubber meets the road. Like the showing you love someone is in the everyday stuff.
Yeah.
It's not the big showy Leo.
Oh my gosh.
What's up?
Well, this just reminded me of, because remember how last week we were at work and it was you, me, Crystal, and Alexa, and we came home and Paxton was like, hey, how was your guys' work day? And Alexa's all, I answered first. I was like, oh, it was really fun. I was like, Maya and Crystal were there, so it was like so much fun. And Alexa's like, yeah, it was like a play date. And I was like, oh, that's like bringing love and fun into your workplace. And I remember I texted you guys and I was like, oh, I'm going to start like, instead of saying I work 6 days a week, I'm just going to be like, I have multiple play dates a week.
We're booked.
So I'm just like, yeah, I'm booked out for like, my play dates are off the charts.
That's so
like,
cute.
And I'm just like, oh, that's like very Virgo.
That is.
Venus and Virgo. Like, let's just make it fun and love. And like the work has to get done and it still gets done, but like we can have fun with it.
I feel like
just
there
a
is
reframe.
like more love energy too. I just feel just like things have been so harmonious
Mm-hmm.
and joyful.
Definitely.
Like joy is a thing. I'm just laughing
Yeah.
my butt off a lot, which is so
Love
nice.
it. Yay. And then today the moon goes into Pisces, so very spiritual, so soul focused this week. Yeah, and I think that's it. I kind of stopped on Sunday, so.
So where's what?
Oh no, go ahead. Sunday. No, I still have to bring up the Milli Vanilli thing.
Oh.
Before we finish.
No, go for it.
I don't need to. What's your thought though? You had a thought.
I was just gonna talk about Pisces. That's boring. Continue.
Okay, that's boring. Okay.
Milli Vanilli.
Well, so this is so funny. This is also part of the 80s, full 90s retrograde thing that's been happening. But yeah, so you don't know Milli Vanilli.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so this was this huge scandal. Obviously, if you were there, you remember it. But they got caught for lip syncing. So it was this huge thing because they were performing at the Grammys. They won the Grammy. And then they performed, and someone pulled the plug because they're like, "This went too far." So they're in the middle of their performance, and the plug gets pulled, and they're just deer in headlights, right? Like, oh, shit. So embarrassing.
So awful.
And I think they were actually getting ready to like, because they're like, "This has gone too far. We didn't realize we were going to be so successful." You know, I think they just, and also. There's so much backstory to it. Like, they got pressured into it. Like, they actually wanted to sing, but then the guy, their manager guy or whatever, like, wouldn't let them.
It's always the evil manager.
It was an evil manager. There's, like, a whole story. I won't get into it. I'm just going to do the brief synopsis. But it was during this, like, retrograde. My daughter was listening to, like, the 80s, 90s music. And so it was actually Nena Cherry that came up. And I was like, oh, I love her. So I turned one of her songs on YouTube, which is funny because I normally listen to like a streaming app, but I was like, oh, I just want to hear it on YouTube, see if I can find like a live version of it or something. And so that song played, and then like, so Fab came up. That's one of Milli Vanilli it was Rob and Fab. And so Fab Morvan is his name. He's French. He's like French, Jamaican. No, not Jamaican. What is he? He's half black, half white, but he's part French. And same with Rob. I think Rob was like half black, half German.
Okay.
But I don't know their other lineage. But yeah, so it showed him actually singing. It shows Fab performing Blame It on the Rain. And I was like, what? And he's like 60, like singing, like actually singing. I was like, he's not lip syncing. He actually, it was like so inspiring because I was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't, like I had to watch the whole thing. And then I had to look for more songs that he's done. And so he like 8 years ago he learned all the songs and started performing them. And I just thought it was so heartwarming because Rob sadly committed suicide over the whole thing. They came out with an album. I think they tried to kind of salvage everything after that whole Grammy fiasco, but they came out with an album afterwards where they were actually singing, but I think they were so shamed at that point. Right. I don't think anybody really paid attention.
It was just such a scandal. People couldn't get over that.
Yeah, and they couldn't like, what does it, come out from underneath that.
Right.
It was really sad. So, and I didn't even know they came out with an album. So I found out this, and then Alexa, my oldest daughter, she's like a fan. She actually found out that they came out with an album, like right after the whole scandal. And so she was like researching them and found their album. And she's like, Mom, you gotta hear this song. And so I was listening to it. And then she's like filling me in on all the history of it. She's like, yeah, they made this album. And it's really good. And they're like, it's great. And they're beautiful. They're like beautiful men. She's like, can't stop staring at them. She showed Emily, and like her and Emily were like gawking over them at work. I just thought it was so funny. I was like, oh, the little youngins. Just like, they're so pretty. They were beautiful. They still are. Like, Fab is in incredible shape. That's I can't believe he's 60. But I was like, oh, I had no idea. I was like, I feel like I failed them as a fan. Because I was like, I just found out,
it's
like,
not our
30
fault
years later.
This is what happens when
they got smothered by negative media.
That's the thing. Like, there's certain powers that monopolize what gets pumped out there, and the algorithm just works against these people when they're trying to make their comeback.
Yeah. And
so it's such a retrograde thing that they came back into your field, and it was like, here's a comeback story for the ages.
Oh my god, because I was like, okay, well, poor Rob, we love Rob, like, R.I.P. Rob, but he, like, it was too much for him, for his spirit.
The shame.
Yeah, he just couldn't get over that, like, couldn't get past that in this life, I guess. But then Fab, like, what a success story, like, just took it and turned it all around, is like now performing those songs, like, with his own voice. He's got an incredible voice. He's better than the originals.
Oh,
it's
that's
amazing.
Incredible.
And he can dance, and he's like fit as ever. He's like 60 and can just, looks great, has an incredible voice, like is in shape, can do the dances on the stage, and he's doing it without his partner. You know, because I'm like, oh, not only is he doing it, but he's also like having to face it alone. Whereas like he would have had a partner, but he's prevailed.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just like
the resiliency,
and he just seems like such a joyful person. Like, just like, you cannot knock this guy down. He's just like
have the joy of a rock or something to hold the way that he does.
It's incredible.
That's crazy.
So it was so inspiring, and I'm just like, oh my god, huge Milli Vanilli fan now. I'm just like, and also, who cares if they're lip syncing? Like, everybody who doesn't lip sync? And like, who is even singing anymore?
First of all,
it's like they're all clones.
I was gonna say, like Selena Gomez has come out before she was her clone.
Yeah,
she came out and was like, yeah, I don't sing. You know, like her voice is actually you can hear the original takes for the Wizards of Waverly Place theme song that she did.
Mm-hmm.
Horrible. She can't carry a note to save her life.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so the fact that they were I mean, there's so many artists who lip sync to their own stuff.
Yeah, I'm like, that's just kind of the norm now. And these guys,
unfortunately, but
yeah,
I will say that, like, they were right in alignment with everybody else who would have been at the Grammys.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
yeah. But, and also, it was like the stage presence that we fell in love with.
Yeah.
I was like, we don't care who sings the song.
Vibes.
It was the vibes. Nobody knew. nobody knew till the music. Someone stopped the music in the
Mm-hmm.
middle of the song. We all just thought they were. I mean, because that's the talent. Lip syncing and making it
And
believable.
dancing
And having it not look like you're lip syncing to someone else's voice. I mean, that would have taken a lot of practice.
that is a skill.
So, I mean, these guys are not untalented.
And Rob, in an alternate timeline, he could have learned. He could have taken voice lessons if he didn't carry an
Well,
L.
they did have the album afterwards, and he sounded fine. I mean, Fab has the voice for sure,
Okay.
and he's like honed that skill too over
Yeah.
the years. But he's been performing for like the last 8 years and like traveling mostly overseas. Like I feel like he performs in Europe a lot.
Okay.
I think his last show in California. Oh, he had a show in California though. It was last year, but he's not touring this year. Because I'm like, I will go. I'm like a huge fangirl of Fab Morvan now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's amazing. Like, what an amazing prevailing spirit. Like, I don't know.
That's really great.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Just
love
shows how you can
it.
turn it all around. So inspiring.
We need more stories like that.
Yeah.
Yay. I will pull a card now.
Okay.
Let me see if I can. Maybe you can talk while I shuffle or something.
We got a 3-hour episode.
Yay!
We do that.
We just have so much to talk about. Okay, cardboard that collected in the podcast episode today. Sorry, it's right in the mic. Oh! Soul retrieval.
Oh my gosh. Wow. You moved my pen.
Should I? Do you want to pull a card?
Oh, sure.
I'll hold your microphone.
Okay. I should have held yours for you. Okay.
So soul retrieval is obviously what it sounds like. And it's about retrieving a part of you that was fragmented or lost in some place in time. Aligned versus
Soul retrieval.
misaligned. That's a big
Well,
deal.
misaligned is if you pull it that way, right?
Yeah. So you pulled it with the aligned. That's positive.
Should we pull a third?
Let's pull one more.
Do you want to do it?
No, you should do it.
Okay.
Okay, soul retrieval aligned versus misaligned. So we're in the aligned timeline. That sounds correct.
Destiny life.
Versus faded. Oh, you guys.
Whoa.
So-
Okay.
These cards are just affirming that we timeline jumped.
Do you want the
And on this timeline, we got a part of our fragmented selves back. And we're on our highest loving organic divine timeline, I would say, from these cards.
Love it.
Oh! Golden's at the bottom of the deck.
Wait, what is it?
This is literally
Golden!
the highest timeline card
It
you could
is.
ever get. This
Ooh.
is the Mac Daddy of positive timeline cards.
It's like the golden ticket.
You're literally the golden age, the golden like everything. Okay, so we're just like
Golden, soul retrieval, aligned,
this is
destiny life.
affirming
This is
everything
amazing. I
that
love
we
this.
hypothesized
Oh my
today.
gosh. This is such a like benevolent reading.
This is the
Like,
most
is,
benevolent. This is what
Like the highest
this is
timeline
why
is
we're doing what we're doing.
what this is, right? This is like highest timeline.
This is the highest timeline.
Love it.
You guys. Freaking
Oh.
out.
This is the Inner Temple Oracle.
Yes,
by
Inner
Rebecca Campbell.
Temple.
It's beautiful. She has beautiful cards.
This is my favorite. It has a little magnetic
Should we show them the cards?
frame holder. Yeah, let's show them
Yeah.
the cards.
Soul Retrieval was the first one.
This is the golden card. It's so pretty.
And then we have Aligned. And then the Destiny Life.
So it's literally hopping off of your karmic cycles, your samsara loop onto your destiny. Like, it makes me think of this workshop I did on activating people's divine blueprints according to what God originated for their life. So this is the feeling. It's almost like going back to the start with the soul retrieval, but then also being in alignment with like your highest organic loving timeline from here on out.
We love this.
And also being in like new age. Like
Hey.
the new era of whatever we're stepping into, which is, it does feel new.
It does.
Feels like even like the Matrix and the powers that were and the snake people or whatever. Nobody knows what's happening anymore. Like they lost the plot, which is a great sign, I think.
Yes.
It's very benevolent.
They're in the rainbow wheel. They're just like, oh, we're on pause because we don't know what's going on.
That's amazing.
Like, I know.
Okay, this is
Beautiful
so
card
cool.
reading.
Yay. I'm gonna burp. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you
for
so
tuning
much.
in.
We'll be back hopefully next week with who knows what. We're just kind of going with it.
New material falls from the ethers.
It
for
does.
us.
Yeah.
We could talk forever.
I know. We get sorry.
Because she's the library.
All right.